Good morning, New York City. Good morning, New York City. Good morning, New York City. Mariah Carey could honestly never. Welcome to Good Morning, New York City. It is truly the morning. And I may or may not have taken some medications last night. So I'm a little bit slower in this episode than I normally am. But this is a very special episode of Good Morning New York City, and a one that has been often talked about in other podcasts as something that we really needed to do. And that is, we are going to talk about the infamous Cryptidverse RP entitled The Fergusons.
Yay, my favorite one.
Your favorite one. So some people's favorite ones, yeah. So the Fergusons is set in the 40s. First of all, if you don't know what the Cryptidverse RPs are, I should start there. It is where we everything is based on the cryptids that are in the obituary section of New Hill City, and so these RPs are their origin story. And each origin story, each RP, takes place in a different country and time period. So this was in America. This was in specifically the Salem, and this took place in 1940, 45, 46, something like that. So, and I asked all of the, this is one of my favorite ones because I also got to ask the RPers to play as children. And it was also a little controversial because each of the children were asked to have some sort of, I believe you could say disability. I don't know what the proper term is now. Something that makes them unique. So we have at least one cast member here. So, Swift, what character did you create when you got the assignment and came back with a character in less than 2 seconds?
Simon Ferguson, former surname Frost. So, yeah.
That's right. All the kids were adopted, too. Which is interesting. What did you think? Well, this is for both you and Taco, since you're both here. What did you all think of the breakdown when you heard it? What were your, initial ideas?
When I first heard of the breakdown for the Fergusons, I was just like, oh, that was completely like a 160-degree turn from the Vines. Because first of all, I honestly expected it to be like, okay, it could be set in the past and all that stuff. But I didn't expect that it would be brought way back so quickly. And to top it off,
go ahead.
And then to top it off, it had to be the role players had to play as children. And from my previous experience, my only experience playing or role playing as children as muses were basically my interpretations of Link and Tetra from Wind Waker. So I was just like,
Yeah,
I could.
It was funny because everyone this is the one I had the most questions on. But go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, and I was just like, I could work with this, but then I know that my child character is definitely not a combatant like Toon Link because he can't wield a sword in he can't wield a sword in that particular setting.
Yeah, oh man, you never know. You never know what the Fergusons had in their attic, maybe. This is the one that had I had the most people started messaging me back being like, so exactly what age is a child? Everyone had so many questions about children as if they've never been children, which is very funny. Everyone's like, what so when you say child, I'm like, yes, I mean child.
Give me the definition of child.
They're like,
give me the definition.
They're like, do you mean 17? I'm like, nope, not 17. That is a teenager. It's like okay. So it was like I think the parameters were between
8 and 11.
8 and 11, yeah. Um, and it was very very interesting what everyone came up with because I also we did something a little bit different from the vines this time, which was that everyone had to have an ailment and a strength.
And ailment and the strength.
Yeah,
And
I remember that.
and this caused some controversy. So your ailment would take away five points from whatever you rolled, depending on the situation, and the strength, of course, would add 5 points. And I gave every, and this was also really challenging for people, which was okay, which I understood, but people had a tough time because I wanted everyone to have different ailments and different strengths, and then I also wanted people to have ailments or strengths that were related to the things that they were doing. So some people were like doing strengths like drawing, and I'm like, I can assure you, you're going to want to pick something a little bit better than drawing.
Yeah, like honestly, I think everyone fucked up in the strengths. Like there were worse elements, but no one got a good strength except I think actually your rock and maybe kitten.
Yeah.
No, kitten no.
I don't
I
remember.
remember your.
I don't remember
I
what
think it
kid's
was
strength was.
evolution.
Yeah, actually,
But I know.
I'm gonna look now
Yeah.
because I'm curious. I'm
Okay,
curious.
hold on, let
everyone's-
me look. Okay,
Um,
hold on. Let me just go for this.
so-
Wait.
Let me see. Oh gosh.
Okay, so for Artym, you put no. I remember you told us, but you never like put it in the bio.
I never put it in the video.
Yeah, Miss Margaret was diabetic but had perfect evolution.
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
We'll get into who Miss Margaret is later. I should pass to get her wake her for this.
So
She'll be here.
Kushuna, Damien, gymnastics, but action T. Then there was
That's right.
Dennis
gymnastics,
with
yeah.
a runner, but claustrophobia.
Yes.
Nani, Kinai, possessions.
Oh yeah.
Ronnie, strong, but anger management issues.
That's right. That's right. Anger management issues.
There was Shaki, the strong runner again, but showing idiopathic arthritis.
Yes.
I don't know what's that.
So Jackie had arthritis, which is just it's funny because that actually never came up for Jackie, but the arthritis essentially was that they had it's hard to explain, but like weak and it's like weak joints, so like very sore joints. So I was planning on having them have some sort of like, I don't know, they dropped something when they were holding it, but I actually never. So idiopathic arthritis is it's just regular joint inflammation. I didn't know if it attacks certain joints. So yeah, just joint inflammation, and therefore like.
She was they were the only people that actually choose a very specific element that actually like never came up.
Yeah.
So it
never
worked
came up,
for
yeah.
them. So that was like the only one that actually worked for them.
But
Let's see.
I liked the strength of strong runner, but yeah, continue.
So Chef was an amazing rider but several asthma.
Yep, amazing
I
hider,
remember
severe
that
asthma.
because-
Yeah.
Yeah, because that actually came up with when they were with things.
Oh yeah.
Forgot.
Oh yeah.
Militia, creative and artistic, but deaf in 1 year.
So here's the thing with militia is that I accepted creative and artistic mostly because creative wasn't there. So I was like, I will give her that maybe creativity can help her get out of certain situations, but that was one of those things where I was like, creativity is not going to help you here, but you know.
Yeah.
But it ended. I mean, honestly, it ended up not mattering.
Malware. Oh god, this one.
And
This one is
Marlo.
actually like, yeah, Malware actually like had the most like good skill, but it just never came up. That's sad. Because they were like a skill
yeah.
inventor.
It's funny
And
because
they had
Marlowe's skill was being inventive.
Yeah, it was like being very good at inventions that led her, and since she was like really good at like making that sort of stuff, that meant she was like really good at mathematical equations and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then her ailment was she was like almost legally blind, and without her glasses she basically could not see anything.
Marlowe, for her short time in the Fergusons, got a lot of use out of her ailment.
Yeah. Like that was the only one that actually like used the skill, because apart from I don't know who else, I don't think anyone used the skills.
No.
Like I think it was just the situations that they were like caught in like the worst situation ever. But that's just happened.
Never worked.
Then there is Cheeks.
And then Cheeks. Cheeks was
Quick thinker and mute.
Quick thinker and mute, yes. It's funny because the mute thing was really worked in the RP sense, but I don't think I ever used her muteness to roll. I don't know if it ever like came up as an ailment.
Because, like, if she ever got cornered like alone, maybe, but I don't think that ever happened. She was always with like one person at least.
Ara's asking if anyone in the Fergusons was blind. Wasn't who was?
Mahler.
Oh, Marlo, literally we just said that. We literally just said that. Yes, sorry, Marlo was blind.
Yeah, Marlo was legally blind.
Yes, Marlo's legally blind, and had a great scene at the end where she very much had to figure out her surroundings.
Yeah.
And she succeeded. And then you want to read Sarah's Taka?
Yeah. Oh God, Sarah. Crafty, I don't know what they meant with crafty, but let's search the wallet. That last one, oh God, that actually like.
So Sarah's craftiness is actually, I mean, I technically should have flagged it because it's pretty much the same as malicious creativity in my mind. But I took it to mean like a MacGyver type, like someone who could like use little materials to make something useful. So I was like, okay, that's a specific thing that is outside of the general realm of creativity. But yes. And then we have her brother.
Simon, of course.
Simon. Okay, Simon. Do you want to do it?
I'll do it because his +5 is like like I mentioned before, he's a non-combatant. Like I wanted to contrast him from Messi, so he's a non-combatant. So what he does, he freaking reads books. His strength is a bookworm. So I don't know what kind of strength would that. I don't know where it would be applied, but I still added it as a strength because he can be knowledgeable, and then his -5 is very oddly specific, like frightened by crashing noises.
Oh, I loved that one. I wish I got more use out of that one, but when I saw it, I loved it. And I had a plan for Simon being a bookworm because, as in every cryptid RP, except for I guess this one, I always have a research moment that not everyone. Well, I guess also not in the Vines either, but so literally only in 2 of them. But I normally have a moment where someone is typing really fast.
Soft.
Someone just like explode on the keyboard.
Just like.
So yeah, I try to have a moment where one of the players can go into some sort of area and do some horror movie style research of oh my gosh, this is what's really going on in their library. Yeah. But
I don't think much remember that time. Like it never came up in the Fergusons. Like there were only 2 phases. Like there was quiet time and there was only interaction between characters to build up like relationships, and then there was like action time and everyone either dies or it's just searching for people. So like it never came up for investigation time, unlike the Fox.
Nope.
But the Fox is just like it just got unlucky roles and unlucky sections, but that's another time.
So the story.
I know it was.
So the story behind the Fergusons was that there is this couple who lives sort of on a estate on top of the hill of this small town in Salem, and they are
Buenos días.
they are a well-to-do family who is known in the town for adoption. So they adopt lots of kids. They happen to be adopting lots of kids who, are having trouble getting adopted at adoption agencies or abandoned by their parents. It's a lot of like they're normally taking in the kids that are not, top of the list of adoptee type situations, because in the 40s everyone was very purist and a little bit Nazi-ish and everyone was like, I want the perfect child. So these these were kids who back then would have been sort of put at the bottom of the list. So the unwanted children, as Ara typed it, unwanted in quotations, and so they take in a lot of kids, and this time they have, what is it? How many do you have? 11?
Was there like 15 or something?
There's so many people. Wait, I have it on the death count. Oh, 15. There are 15 kids. 15 kids.
Yep.
Oh, that's a lie. It's actually not 15 kids, because that's before I split up NPCs and players. So it's actually minus 14, 13, 12. I think there's 12 kids, including Artym. So
Yeah.
Let me count for you, just in case.
And so what happens is they end up going to they end up getting a new kid coming in named Artym from I believe Russia is where I said. And
wait, the fake thing, but that's for that one. Yeah, you said Russia.
What are you talking about? It's completely true at this point. So we go. They have a new kid coming in, and the RP starts very interestingly. There's mother and father are leaving, which I think a lot of people didn't expect. Everyone expected to have a lot more time with mother and father, and I'm like, first scene, they're out of the door. So they're leaving. They seem very tense. They're not very. They don't seem very lovey-dovey. Father keeps trying to touch mother, and mom is like, "Please don't touch me." And so they leave, and they leave Miss Margaret, who is the house caretaker. They hired one person to take care of an entire house, which is not very 1940s, but very 2021. So normally in the 40s, I feel like you'd have more people in the house. But for this RP, we had one person, Miss Margaret, who is a Scottish bred and born young woman who is tasked to take care of all the kids. And she is I will say she's a equally loving and also equally harsh kind of individual. What were your thoughts on Miss Margaret when you first met her, Swift?
Miss Margaret was like, she's kind of like Mary Poppins-ish, Mary Poppins-esque type character.
Yeah, Mary Poppins hated kids.
Parachute umbrella though.
Yeah, I was about to say. Besides that, and also if she didn't like that.
And then, of course, very major first impression happened when me and Shai were like writing together as Simon and Sarah when they first entered the dining room. And then personally, when I saw like Miss Margaret's reaction to Sarah, I was just like, oh my god, what is she thinking?
So,
and I'm just like,
go ahead.
And then of course I was just like, okay, she doesn't like disability, but at the same time she is a loving housekeeper, or rather she's a very, very competent housekeeper. I was pretty much conflicted actually, because on the one hand she does know how to keep things in check, but at the same time knowing that these knowing that these kids or some of these kids had disabilities and her reactions to them with disabilities, it's just like, lady.
We'll fill the listening audience in on exactly what Swift is talking about. So Sarah has a very noticeable limp and has to use a cane to walk, which is her ailment as well, that we talked about earlier. And Miss Margaret is a little bit less than empathetic or even sympathetic to this. And so so essentially the way that the Simon and Sarah duo worked is that they're always together and, helping each other out, or whether physically or emotionally. And so Sarah in the beginning of the RP was literally leaning on Simon a lot, and for good reason. And Miss Margaret was not happy about this. Miss Margaret wanted Sarah to be independent and strong, and went about it in a very interesting way, which was basically to essentially shame her publicly at any chance that she could get, which was like really interesting. Okay, Taka, see ya. And
Shai's also here, the one who plays Sarah.
Shai's here. Oh my gosh, perfect timing, Shai. We're just talking about the introduction of Sarah. Do you want to introduce her? And then we also have Shadow, who can introduce his character. Or not. Okay. Well, we can keep going. Sarah, I have a cane. Miss Margaret, just walk, lol. Yes.
Just walk. And then after that, like Simon, of course, Simon agrees to help Sarah like try and practice walking in the garden.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it gets pretty. It gets pretty uncomfortable. Hi, Shy. What's up? Oh no, you're like super robot-y. A little bit. Wait.
Yeah, like your mic. Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Wait lang ka, I'll get there later.
Technical difficulties.
Oh.
So yeah, R says, I know people who think like that IRL, unfortunately. Yes, even today we have some Miss Margarets walking around. What happens is that we have, this is one of the longer, I think this is the longest RP that we've had in the Cryptidverse. And so I wanted a chance to have all the kids all the players get to know each other's characters, because this is unlike the unlike the Vines previously. These kids were meant to know each other. So what I thought was interesting was having, obviously the first RP was the cast or the characters were not like super familiar with each other, but like kind of, in the school way that you're familiar with each other, associates, to like siblings, which was really interesting to see how people played siblings, whether successfully and sometimes unsuccessfully, I think, because it was, everyone kind of broke off and into little sections, and it was just an interesting dynamic that ended up happening with everyone.
Yep.
How did did you have a plan going in, Swift?
Yeah. Well, hang on a minute, because me and Shai were like, we were working together on this one.
Yeah, you kind of had it in because you have you had someone to bounce off of, so.
Yeah, I'm just gonna tell like the interesting origin story of how Simon and Sarah even came to be. So, Shai, I'm gonna tell Fire about the very interesting origin story that began when we first shipped two of our OCs together.
Oh my gosh, here we go. Buckle in, everybody.
Okay, so it started when it all started like shortly after the end of the Vines, and then Shai and I were like planning to make our list of characters, and then I told him, okay, I have this character from one of my notes. I think she will be suited very well for the Cryptidverse, and I introduced this lady whom was named Susan Poe. She was in my notes. And then he showed off his character, Skylar Frost. And then he asked me, like, I think it was in the DMs at that time, and then I don't know the word for word exact message, but I think it was like, do you think we can pair up our characters together? And then I was just like, sure. I was like, sure, I could see the chemistry happening between them.
I love
And
that.
then Shy, if the details are wrong, please tell me. But basically we did plan like everything about like Skylar and Susan's interactions, their dynamic, as well as how they even got together, even some of their backstory. And then on this very same day that the Fergusons treatment was first released, we were at that point where we decided, okay, let's create second generation characters for our ship, because why not? So I gave a start. I was the one who like started, and I posted a pic crew on like a separate server we were in, a separate pic crew of this young man who would become Skylar and Susan's eldest son, Simon Frost.
Nice.
And then Shyson followed with a pic crew of Sarah. So we were like, yep, these are the second gen kids. And then we even had like an idea of what their, like, these guys were like in the modern times, so we already had an idea of what their dynamic even was. So, yep.
Ooh.
We even discussed their dynamic, like, for modern day. These modern day Simon and Sarah are the canon ones. They're the canon ones. So,
interesting.
So later on, when you released like the treatment for the Fergusons, which was like 1940s, these guys had to be kids. And so we suddenly realized, oh shoot, I don't think Skylar and Susan would fit in well with this one. And then we were just like, okay, second gen characters it is. Let's do this. So, second gen characters, and it was just like, for once we were glad that we decided to create the second generation characters, like the son and daughter of Skylar and Susan on a whim.
Oh,
so
love it. I love it.
And yeah, like their dynamic in the 1940s was pretty much different compared to the dynamic that they have in the canon / modern day. So, yep, that's the origins. That's the origin story.
There's always an origin story. I love
origin story of how they even came about. I mean, oh boy. I mean, like, if you want to hear, just wait until you hear the origin story about Trevor Frey. That's probably longer. Anyway.
So the way that the structure of how the days go for the Fergusons is that Miss Margaret will use a PA system, which I had to make sure that a PA system existed in the 40s, and they're like, yeah, the PA system has existed for many decades. So
hello.
So Miss Margaret would basically say on the PA system, like, okay, breakfast is served. Apparently only breakfast, which was interesting. And
actually, I was wondering why the hell the children never like ate lunch or something.
I think after a while, I think it was just assumed that the kids could go into the kitchen whenever they wanted to get whatever they wanted to.
Yeah.
But so the kids would come down, eat breakfast, and then go play. And the thing was, my plan was actually to have a lot more of a structure for the kids, but it was quickly being realized that everyone was so all over the place with their schedules that I couldn't plan activities. I got to plan one activity, but it didn't go quite as much as I planned. But so basically what happened was they would come down for breakfast, and then they would go play. And I was really just trying to give the kids time to get to know each other as the players as well. And
free roaming.
Yeah, free roaming. And I even set up a Where Is Everyone little thing that I never ended up using because people started going all over the place. I was like, great, I'll just keep track of everyone.
Yeah, it just happens. Like, the only fail that happened here is that everyone is sparse, like, between the groups.
Yes. Yes, all the kids dispersed into groups, which is not unlike what kids would do, but it was very interesting. And I mean, I guess I'll describe sort of the big characters that came through. We had Militia, who was a very she was very sort of docile character. She was very, 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 very lawful good. She loved being around adults, specifically Miss Margaret. And yeah, it was just a lot of I loved Militia. It was so cute. She was just like she was so sweet and innocent and was just wanting to.
And you forgot about her.
I did not forget. Everyone else forgot about her. How dare. I did not forget about her.
Oh, you don't remember the
I don't
time
know what you're talking about, Taka.
Kitten had to come back to the
I
voice
don't know what
chat.
you're talking about. So then so we also had a very strong entrance from Ronnie, who was sort of the bully of the group, which was really interesting for Ray to play. I really enjoyed that. Because for all who don't know Ray, the legendary Ray of New Hell City, Ray is like the farthest thing from a bully you could ever get. So it was really funny to see them play a bully. Really mean, a lot of hitting, very very hands-on kind of kid, that Ronnie. And there's a lot of contention between, or a lot of tension rather, between Ronnie and Miss Margaret, which I loved doing. And I think early on,
Honestly, that was
in the first
only
one,
early on because of the plates thing, right? Because like I remember Miss Margaret say something about Lonnie having to watch the plates, and it started from there.
yeah, it started from
Honestly, it was like it was super. Well, oh god, Kitten is here.
Kitten's here. Oh my gosh.
Wait, how do I?
Yes, invite to speak. Oh my gosh, it's about to go
Kitten,
down.
enter. Go.
Hi, Kitten.
Fire.
Yes? What do you want?
Honey,
What do you want?
you said the name wrong.
What I did? What I do?
You said militia.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know. I
It's
definitely said it.
Molita.
I didn't say that. What are you talking about? I remember you clearly. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, of course, fire. You know, like this happened another time.
I don't know what you mean. Shut up,
the
kid.
whole reason why I came in here.
Well, good. Now you can introduce your fucking dead ass character.
Oh,
I mean, she is dead, yeah. Thanks, Mom.
oh God.
So now we have the actor who played Molita. The RP
There
who
you
played
go.
Molita. And then Kitten just leaves.
I mean,
how did you come up with Molita? Do you remember?
Molita?
Yes, how'd you come up with her?
Molita was just me as a child.
Oh, there we go. Minus
That makes sense.
minus the being drowned in the lake.
Minus the being drowned in the
or
lake.
maybe included. I don't know.
I was never drowned in a lake.
Are you?
Yeah, unless you're a ghost.
I mean, Kitten being a ghost makes a lot of sense because she's just more like a poltergeist. Honestly, makes a lot of sense for a Kitten.
No, a ghost.
A
Just
ghost.
a really powerful one.
Yeah.
That can do poltergeist type things.
Just like knocking over random things and being, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the innocence of sweet little Molita, and how she's very she's very obsessed with Miss Margaret. Do you remember?
Do I what?
Do you remember like what, like your decision to make her so like docile, which I thought was really cute and not meta, which was really helpful.
Well, for one, She's 8.
Yes.
Right.
That.
I don't know how long ago, how long the kids were really adopted for. Like, I don't know how long they were all
Everyone had
there.
different adoption periods, so I let everyone choose.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with her, my idea was that she hadn't really been there that long.
That makes sense.
So with most kids, especially shy kids, which is what Molita was, they tend to gravitate towards adults.
Made sense. It made sense. It was very good. I loved it because I think because the shell shock of the vines really made RPers in this one want to keep their character alive. So a lot of people were like making sure their character wasn't getting in too many precarious situations. And I really appreciated, Kit, that you allowed Molita to just be a child, a sweet, innocent child.
So
That's
you
good.
wanted me to roleplay a child. I roleplayed a child.
So then we had, I mean, it was, the days were filled with altercations between Ronnie and, I don't know, everybody. And it was a lot of Ronnie being an asshole. A lot of pushing. Did Ronnie ever attack Molita at all? Was there any conflict there?
Yeah, there was some conflict there, actually. Ronnie shoved Molita at one point.
Oh God. Oh God.
That happened during the croquet game, I think.
Ooh, yeah. Oh yes. Oh, the croquet game. Yeah.
And she also tore apart Mr. Cuddles.
Oh, that's right. So, do you want to introduce Mr. Cuddles to the listening audience?
Mr. Cuddles
Oh
is
boy,
Molita's
Mr.
teddy
Cuddle.
bear. The whole idea behind Molita's teddy bear, Mr. Cuddles, was it was the only thing that she really had left from her parents. Like that was a gift that she had gotten for like her 5th birthday, the same year that both of her parents died in a car crash.
Oh boy.
Right. So that was the only thing that she really had left from there. And while she was in an orphanage, it was really her only friend because there was a lot of older kids in the orphanage and they weren't very nice.
Can I ask a question about that too? To you, I mean, okay. Why did you come up? Like, why specifically the bear? Like, was it because of the general idea or a specific reason?
Well, she said it was Molita, you mean, or Mr. Cuddles?
The color, like, why specifically a teddy bear? Like, why a teddy bear specifically? That's my question.
Because when I was an 8-year-old, I had a favorite teddy bear.
So
that I carried around with me
basically, this is
almost
past you.
everywhere.
So basically, you have played as a
Yep.
as past you.
Yep.
Okay, okay, that makes sense.
So,
Also,
yeah, go ahead.
Also, teddy bears were kind of a common thing for kids back then.
Yeah.
Not so much like stuffed dinosaurs or kind of rabbits, but it was mostly like teddy bears and like maybe some rabbits, but they had to be not necessarily had to be, but they were mostly handmade then. But I think you could get some teddy bears at stores and stuff like that. But stuffed animals at the time, I don't believe were really all that big.
That's true. In the 40s, we kind of gave fuck
Probably.
all about kids. We didn't really care about kids in the 40s. So,
You specifically you because you just made this RP because you had kids.
fucking hate kids. Hate them. Hate them. I made this whole RP to kill kids. Um, so, so the interesting thing about this RP was that there's a very large cast, and there's varying levels of participation. So a lot of times what I would have is using Miss Margaret to have scenes with people who did not have a lot of scenes. So eventually I would just like have Miss Margaret going around to different rooms and like knocking on doors.
Yeah.
And then like no one would answer. And I'm like, okay, great. Okay, great.
I
Nice to meet you.
remember actually, I think you actually did that like 3 times.
Yeah.
And every time you
yeah,
had
every time.
you went like for 10 rooms or something. Every time you knocked the door, I
Yeah.
think 4 or 5 you know, so you were like, oh okay, I'm just calling for the other kid.
I would be like,
That was
at
funny
this other
because like, it
person,
happens.
Miss Margaret knocks very loudly on their door, and then nothing.
It's just so funny because I imagine Miss Margaret doing this for like multiple days. It's just like knock knock, please answer. I need interactions with you.
Yes.
I need you active.
I was like trying to give people opportunities to like, flesh out their character and, but, whatever.
I think the only one that actually like came out a win was Amalowe actually.
Well, Cheeks, I
It
mean,
was like
there's a couple, like Cheeks had, Cheeks would answer, Liz.
Malowe too because they were doing the invention and that stuff.
Yeah, it was
Dennis, I think.
Dennis.
I
had a-
almost called him Delta. Damn it.
Oh, well, he kept calling himself Delta. For those who don't know, Noob is one of the running gags, I guess, is that Noob played Delta in the
He's Taylor in
Vines.
the
Noob plays Delta, but his character was named Dennis. I don't know why he did that because he kept calling himself Delta, and we kept being like, Noob, it's Dennis, and it was like comically so many times how many times he called himself Delta. I'm like, just name yourself Dennis so you won't be confused. And he still did it. He named himself Dennis and everything, and he kept calling himself Delta. And I was like, what? I don't know how it's that hard to get a name wrong, but okay, whatever.
I can tell you why.
Why?
It's because in almost every roleplay that Noob's been in, his character is Delta. He has like one character, maybe 3 different roleplay characters, but it's mainly Delta, and it's all AUs that Delta is in.
God fucking Delta. This is why you pick different names for your characters. Unless you're playing one person throughout all the RPs, but goodness.
I mean, he kind of was.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. God damn it.
I like how
Noob.
it's just Alun and Gag at this point. It's just is anyway for the funnies. It just happens.
It's like
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting for Wildfire's actors because it's like, oh, they're 3 different characters, but they all share the same name. Okay, like what was the agency thinking? And then you're just like, maybe they just got tired, they didn't know what else to think about. So they're just like, okay, just place a name on this guy. It could be anything from our list of already used names. Just go. And then it's like, Delta, perfect.
Delta, perfect. So yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I'm looking over the transcript of the RP, and like, interesting enough, nothing like really super crazy happens. I mean, there are a couple. I'm trying to think of like the next big event that happens. I mean, there's a lot of like Simon Sarah scenes, which were nice. And
Okay, I actually do want to talk about that a bit.
go for it.
If
Oh my
you
gosh,
don't
yes.
mind.
Please, we'll pull over here.
Yeah, I remember I was discussing with Safe before, like when that was happening. I remember that we were DMing each other. I remember specifically, I was asking her, "Why are you going for like talking to the so much in the role play in the beginning?" And she was just like, "To roll the link before our characters die."
Oh gosh.
I want to say, and that's going to make the characters die quickly. And that happened. So
To be
you know what
fair-
happened next.
To be fair, Swift always thinks her characters are gonna die. And to be fair, it's always been true so far, so it's not...
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean, like
except Trevor. I mean, you are
Trevor.
breaking that rule with the dating game because supposedly no one dies there,
Yeah,
but
no one's
that's another
dying. No
thing.
one's dying in a dating game. It's fine.
I do,
Yeah, I mean,
It's
find
so
it
that
funny that
it's just a
so
cute
by
idea.
default, so by default that would mean Trevor would be the only one among my roster to survive.
There you go.
Should the rest pass away. I'm just waiting for the moth. I'm just waiting for the Mothman to come.
Oh,
Hopefully,
gosh.
the next character.
Oh, we will get to the
The
Mothman.
next-
I can't wait.
Speaking of Mothman,
Yes.
fire.
Yes.
I would really appreciate a like a character sheet thing
All
to
right,
fill out
I'll-
for that, so I can make sure I have it done on time.
Okay, fair enough. I will post. Let me look at the calendar right now. I will post the Mothman this weekend. How about that?
Okay, cool.
See, I'm so used to freaking, the Swifts of the world and the Shies of the world being like, post breakdown 1 minute later. Here's a full character description
Listen,
and everything.
Yeah, they've already got like 30 characters
Yes.
on the shelf waiting. I'm the type of person who likes to know what my character is getting into first before I come up with a character.
Fair enough. Okay,
It
I will
needs to
post it
fit
this
the
weekend.
world. Yeah,
I will
it
post
needs
it.
to fit the world.
This weekend.
I have clans.
Oh,
I have
God.
clan members ready.
Oh,
I
boy.
have clan members freaking ready. In
sounds-
fact, I expanded it.
When you say
Switch has
clan
an
members,
entire family tree.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Truly ridiculous. Honestly, truly ridiculous.
I mean, like I've already expanded the Guerrero family tree. I gave
course.
JC cousins.
Of course you did. Of course you did. So, I'm trying to think. Do you guys remember I'm looking over like the next big event that happens. It's so funny because this RP lasted like a full month, and it was a lot of. I was just trying to give you all a lot of time to get to know the character dynamics, and I guess I should ask you all like did you guys have any like
Really?
day-to-day plans or like what was your thing?
really like the time you gave us because just I really like because I suppose I really like to build up characters. I suppose I should probably try to leave that because Cryptidverse usually don't last that long. But I really like this one because I actually felt connected to the characters, unlike the Vines, for example,
Yeah.
which was one of my big weak points for me, for example.
Yeah,
I really like how
liked it,
Kitten
yeah.
made his character innocent, and it was different from other characters, and how sh- oh my god, I forgot her name. Johnny's owner just made her character different for the rescue. How
Yes,
I just think
I'm actually really like pleased with. I'm actually out of the cast. I'm actually the most pleased with how people took their
Yes,
characters with this
exactly.
one. Yeah, I thought everyone
I
was
really
like
like the
really.
cast.
Everyone really did like different things, which was like really really cool. And also everyone
My
played something
problem
different in their
was
personality,
really-
which is cool.
That's why I really like the Fergusons who like the frogs or the mines right now because they every character you feel different. Shy's character Sarah, you can feel the difference from Simon to Bond or how Ron is different from Molita or Melu. It just feels better in the cast. Like that's the best cast I can say. Out of all the keep the versus right now.
Well, vote in the Hellies. Actually, yes, do vote in the Hellies because I'm a part of that cast and I want to win. The next thing that happens is there's sort of this looming thing of when do mother and father come back? Like when are they bringing this new sibling? And they actually don't come back. They don't come back for a while.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, there fights abound. I'm seeing this thing where was it Ronnie and Jackie are fighting? Do you remember this, Taka?
Yes, I think it was Shaggy, yeah, because one of I don't know who it was specifically, but I remember that it was in the library that it happened that it started one of them just gave it to Ronnie and he started there with the glass stuff.
Ronnie was such a dick.
Then
Oh my
like
god.
it started the whole thing of Sarah trying to like make Ronnie a better person and stuff.
Oh yeah, she was
Mhm.
trying to
That,
do some intervention.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
that fight happened between
Oh yeah, I
Ronnie
forgot
and
that
Jackie.
the
Mm-hmm.
Melifia too.
Mm-hmm.
As her she. Oh god, I
Um,
forgot that happened too.
and so yeah, Ronnie was kind of a bully. I wish we had Ray in here to talk about the backstory because it was very very typical backstory about having anger issues because of her parents, and there's a lot of cop calling, and it was very sad, very sad backstory. But
I
nonetheless,
liked
Ronnie's a dick.
I liked how they did some research and
Yes.
used some slang from then as well.
I know it was so. I loved everyone.
It's young.
Yeah, people were like doing. Yeah, Ray did some good research about like how
Mhm.
because Ronnie was meant to be sort of a quote unquote street kid, so you know she was using a lot of like I can't remember any of this stuff now, but
Oh.
it was good. I was very impressed.
Yeah, it was like 1940s slang. It was really. I must say, like, yeah, Ronnie was a little shit, but Ronnie was also well done. It was very
Yes,
well done.
yes, love
Then
Ray.
yeah.
Want to give
I
Ronnie a smack in
think
the face.
yeah, honestly, I think with how much time we spent, it just really shined through.
Hmm.
It work like it just worked well. Not only like this character, really, just everyone in general. How like Ethan actually act like a child. Her
Hmm.
character, for example, how
You
a
know,
children would
kid did the
act.
assignment.
I just
Yes.
yeah, how would they act in the age actually too?
Yeah.
Because normally we just say the age and kind of forget about stuff until like technological things happen. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
just played
Yeah. Yeah.
super well.
Hmm.
That's why I like it really.
So I guess we can jump to when, because did Croquet happened after RTM got there? I think, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
Oh, Croquet happened
it was
before.
way before. It was
Oh,
yeah, because Molita was already dead before he even got there.
really? I don't remember that. Uh,
No. Sorry, she was. It was like 2 days after he got there. She
oh,
was already
okay.
dead.
So let's talk about
So
this croquet match because I was extremely proud of coming up with it, and then no one
it was
used it.
great
It was
fire. I'm
such.
not even
Thank
joking.
you.
It was like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Ah,
This is the greatest idea. I'm going to give you so much praise for this.
thank you.
Like, I'm not even being sarcastic or
And listen,
anything
for Kin
about
to
this.
give me
Like, it
praise
was
is this is big. This is huge. I'm gonna savor this
like
moment.
yeah, it's like when you came up with it and I was reading through the ideas and I was like, Fire couldn't have come up with this on his own. Like
How dare! I
this
knew an
is
insult
too
was
good for
coming.
Fire to have come up on his own. But even if it was something that you found or whatever, it doesn't even matter because you had the idea and you were like, this is great. I'm implementing this, and it was so good, and it worked. It worked so well. Unfortunately, not everyone was there all the time to actually play, so it took like fucking 3 days. We
Truly,
still didn't finish, but that's okay.
truly, it's funny. So I even like I would totally admit if I yanked it from somewhere. I was sitting on the train and I was going to a work meeting and it literally came to me out of the blue and I was like, oh shit, this would be an awesome task for everyone to do and everyone will like it'll get into it and I needed something for you all to do well because I was very busy at that time, so I was like I needed something for you all to do that I could just like step away from the Discord and you guys could just do it. And so I came up with this system of essentially a rolling system. I don't even feel like going through it, but essentially a rolling system of cocaine. I'm thinking about cocaine right now. That's what's happening. I'm
Of
really
course
thinking
you
about
are.
cocaine. Um, and I a rolling system, and like if people rolled the same number right after each other, their ball hit each other. It was very intricate and cool. And so
very well done.
basically, and it's funny because I had Miss Margaret sort of sitting on the chair, like relaxing while the kids played croquet, and she didn't, watch over them. And I was like, I'm literally just making Miss Margaret do what Fire Demon is doing right now, which is just like, y'all go play. I'm gonna sit over here.
I was wondering about that because like you like for the few days that lasted, it was like she just sleeps on on the chair and stuff. It's like, is she okay? Is she acting okay? Is she feeling well? It's just something funny to me because it's like she's just acting there, sitting and doing stuff and not watching over the children.
Yeah,
It's
no.
just like the Chinto stuff.
I mean, they're right there. It's not like she's like going to town and go raise havoc or something. It's just right there. She just
okay,
she was tired. A bitch was tired. So she so everyone plays croquet for about 5 minutes, and that was great. And I got like pictures of like a croquet lawn. I was like teaching people. It was fun. Anyway, so that happened, and at that point, that was when Ronnie had ripped Mr. Cuddles, poor sweet Mr. Cuddles, and Molita comes up to Miss Margaret and asks if she can fix the doll. Which Miss Margaret in a rare instance actually turns to Sarah. That's right, because Sarah said that she can fix the doll, and finally Miss Margaret's like, "Oh, you are useful. Here, do that." So she does, which was very nice. Is probably the only moment that Miss Margaret and Sarah had to be nice, which is lovely.
Yep.
And then I think the next big thing is it that I'm trying to remember when RTM actually shows up. So
The next
Yeah.
big thing was
Maybe?
our team showing up.
yeah, I think it is.
But
Yeah, because the man happened after that because he met Artym.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh,
Artym
that happened way after that.
Artym happened before that.
Yeah. So finally, mother and father come back, and they have a new child with them. Sweet baby RTM from Russia, who does not speak, refuses to speak. And I just found it.
Mhm.
And everyone is pretty nice. And he just kind of spends most of the time just observing, looking around, waving, nodding, which was nice. Is very docile, sweet little RTM, and nothing bad happens. The end. That's the end of the RP. That's what happens. And then everyone lives the happy.
You forgot about
Uh,
Grandpa Scott. The Easter's thing.
Oh right.
And
More
the
things do
other
happen.
things.
That's right. Fair enough.
more things do happen.
all hell broke loose. All hell slowly began
I
to break
have a
loose.
question though.
Yes.
Oh,
Question. Answer.
Did I miss the part where we talked about Monopoly?
Oh, I think Monopoly happened after RTM came in, but
No,
No,
it
yeah.
was before RTM came in. Actually, it was before Croquet, and it was one of my favorite interactions.
let's talk about it because
Not
I was
gonna
not
lie.
there for
Yes.
that. Let's go into it. Set it up because I
I
don't
don't
remember this at
remember
all.
the Monopoly
Get-
thing actually. So I
let's-
know who you should go.
Good, let's talk about it together. So,
Yeah, it was
So-
it was an interaction between Molita, Simon, and Sarah.
and it started when Simon asked Sarah, or rather, it all started when Sarah was like making something at her craft desk, and then Simon looked on and said, "What are you making, sis?" And of course, he doesn't actually say sis in that one, but he was just like, "Oh, hey sis, what's that?" And then Sarah tells Simon, "Oh, it's a board game I'm making, or rather, it's a board game I'm customizing." And then she's like, "You want to help out? You can cut the different pieces for you can help me cut the different pieces. And then he was just like, sure. So they worked together and assembled the pieces. And then after that, I think Simon went to the dining room, looked for anyone available, and was just like, yeah, we have a board game coming up. If anyone wants to join us, yeah.
Molita was the only one there.
Oh.
Yeah. And then, like, of course, this is gonna be meta coming from me, but I have never played Monopoly in my whole life. Ever.
Interesting.
Funny thing,
So-
I actually remember that game now. Do you remember how you guys were trying so hard to like not meta game? Because like there's so many dice rolls. Like you had to roll a roll to make a roll in the game. It was so
Yeah.
confusing. I think I remember now. And
Yeah, it was.
it was
like,
fun though. Like it's the interaction stuff. I
Yep,
wonder
like-
though. Why
Basic-
did you choose like a table game?
an actual
Your character, I
game.
mean.
Actually, it wasn't me. It was actually Shy who picked the board game. But yeah, because board game. I
Yeah.
don't.
I do wonder why, like, it started so randomly and it just came to this huge event of playing Monopoly. So I'm just curious how it happened. Like, why it just started as a little thing, I suppose.
Yeah, but
Board
in the
games
end,
were popular back then, I
Mhm.
think.
Jackstones. I think. If Jackstones were even invented in the 1940s.
Oh, they were definitely around. Yeah.
Monopoly was. Yeah, Monopoly was. It was a different name at the time, though. I think it was called like the Landlord's Game or something like that. Because we looked it up. Or at least I looked it up. I just can't remember. I've slept since then.
I've had many sleeps since then.
Not
Yeah,
enough sleeps, but I've slept since then.
I do not. I actually have no. I was not even in the thread for the Monopoly bit, so I don't remember any of this. I don't think I ever read any of this. So
How dare!
I know. How dare me?
I know. Like Simon and Sarah had to teach teach
Molita.
Molita how to play Monopoly, and it was cute.
Yeah.
Sounds cute. Well, all cuteness pretty much stops there when RTM shows up, and things start to get a little bit uncomfortable. What was everyone's first, as players? What was your first thought about RTM? Like, what were you?
Suspicious! Him not talking was suspicious. I was actually talking, I was safe about this. I remember we were expecting like that if he talks, a shadow monster came out of his mouth or something. We were thinking he was a shadow monster at first, I remember.
Interesting.
Yep. We were just. Taka was just basically being mapped at this point. So we were just like, okay, what is this? Okay, what do we have here?
What's
what can we
happening?
conclude from this?
Yeah.
What can we conclude?
So
And all that stuff.
Miss Margaret's personality changes a little bit at the entrance of RTM. She's having a lot more fits of needing to run to the bathroom, breathing heavily, passing out, throwing up. And this is shortly after RTM has arrived. And I loved how cute it was. Poor Molita was always like either like trying to figure out where Miss Margaret was, or like if she witnessed Miss Margaret running off, she was like, I hope she's okay. It was so cute. And if you ever tell anyone I called a child cute, I will kill you. Because you know how I feel about children. I hate them so much.
Okay,
Says the demon who
one
has
question.
them.
You
How
can't
many
prove that.
teeth do you have even?
You can't prove that. I don't know. I left one in the washing machine the other day.
What?
I just put one in the washing machine. I wanted to get it clean. I was like, I don't know how to. You're dirty. I put my clothes in the washing machine, so I don't know. And then I
Are
tried to
you
sell
sure
one.
he won't vomit on your clothes?
I mean, listen, I don't talk to it. Okay, I don't acknowledge it. I just came from me. It's
What?
disgusting.
He's your children. He's not an it.
I mean, if you saw it, it's so gross. It throws up. It's disgusting. I hate it. So Miss Margaret goes to the bathroom. A lot of fits and starts, dashing, going. And then things start to get a little bit weird. I'm trying to think of the first big Artym scene. Oh yeah, the staircase.
Wasn't it the makeup thing?
Wanted to interact a lot more with RTM. That was my only really big disappointment of my character dying so soon.
Yes, it's very. I know.
I wanted to get more interaction in with the character I believed was going to kill everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one's going to be the death of us. Let's get closer to it.
Of course. It turns out Artyom wasn't really the one to worry about for most of you. So
Julius. Okay, can I ask you something?
Sure.
Okay, I'm confused. Wait, what was the best friends thing about? Because I understand he was not a bad guy, technically speaking. He was not the one killing people. It was the stuff that happened with.
We will. You know what? I will save that one to the end because the best friend lore is a little bit deeper. I wrote down a big thing about it, so we'll get to it to the end.
Okay.
So the first big thing that happens is Sarah and Simon enter the basement staircase after they hear something, and then the door slams behind them. This was a big moment because one of them, what was their ailments? I forgot what it was. Well, I know Sarah's, but wasn't Simon's not liking loud noises? Was that what it was? Yeah. Usually fighting by crashing noises. So what I was essentially trying to do as the person was I was trying to get everyone in situations where they would have to deal with their ailments. And that worked sometimes and didn't others, which this one, Sarah and Simon, well, you talk about it, Swift. How did you react to this moment?
Well, of course, basement door was already suspicious in my mind, and then as I wrote Simon to be all okay, I'm searching for my sister again, and then he's just like, Sarah, and then he reaches out for her, he enters, and then all of a sudden door slams behind them, and then oh shoot.
Mm-hmm.
It actually crossed my mind that the door would actually have a loud bang, so he's just like, oh my god. but then they both got into the dark, and then they're now very deep in the dark in the basement staircase, and they're both alone. Nothing else guarantees their safety besides the silence of the dark, and then they were trying to reach out for each other amidst the pitch black of the chamber. And then they decided to sit together, and then they hear footsteps outside. They try to call out for help, but then no response. Because partially because their voices were not loud enough for the others outside to hear.
Yes, they rolled and their voices weren't loud enough in their rolls.
And another factor could probably be because of how thick the basement door is, I think.
Thick. One of my favorite little Easter eggs that I threw in there that no one picked up on, which I love, is just outside the door, hurried footsteps, adult maybe, rush to the door and lock it.
Oh, I picked up.
That was Miss Miss Margaret.
No.
Was it?
Miss Margaret or father?
No. That was RTM.
RTM, RTM because of the big celebration.
Oh,
yeah,
that was Artym.
Yes, it was. That was me being a little Easter eggy about the adult, maybe. So I did try to make it a red herring of maybe it was Miss Margaret, but it wasn't, because Miss Margaret's too busy nursing something really awful inside of her. So eventually they get out. Was it Dennis let you guys out? How was it? How did y'all get out?
No, it
No,
was Mother.
Oh,
It was
Mother.
me.
That's right.
Downstairs.
That's right. She came from
Mother
inside
with
the-
us.
yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's
the
right.
inner
that's right.
basement, and then she was just like, "What are you two doing here? Can't you see this is like there's secret crap happening in here? Just get out."
Yeah, and then that's when
Don't
everyone
come back
turned on
in here.
Mother. That was the first time everyone was like, "Mother's evil. Mother's doing something satanic." And so, just interesting. Just
And
interesting.
that from that point onward, so much meta.
So much. So then, I'm trying to see what else happens. The basement stuff is over, and something happened to Dennis. That's what it was.
Dennis.
Oh, he got locked in a closet, didn't he? Yeah, that's right. So Artym and Dennis were playing, and Artym rushes Dennis and pushes him into an empty small closet and places a chair nearby under the handle. Because he does not like, he's claustrophobic.
Okay. Question about that. Who did he? Was that like intentional, or he didn't know about the claustrophobia?
So here's the thing, is that the reason, well, this is also jumping ahead a little bit, but the reason that Artym knows about everyone's ailments is because Father tells him. So they're very specific about the ailments and letting him know what they are.
I have curiosity.
Yes.
Fire. How would he have dealt with Molita's ailment?
I had it written down. I wish I could find it. Let me see if I can recall. If I look at what was Molita's ailment?
She was deaf in one ear.
Oh, that's right. She was deaf in one ear. I think I had it to where. I think I had it where. I think I had. Oh, that's right. I did have a scene where Artym was going to get in a room with Molita and play loud music, put the record on and put loud music on, and try to dick with her, her senses. I had a very small outline planned out, and then I ditched it when I realized I probably wasn't going to do it. But I had a weird I'm gonna fuck with you, fuck with your sense of sound right now, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which would have been
Oh,
people would have been very
really, we're
angry.
having fun. Really, there was so many opportunity for stuff, but just stuff happened quickly, so it's
Yeah.
okay if fire happens. But at least we had the liver thing.
I know, yes.
I never forget about the
It's funny because the things that happened, I very much did not plan. So, everything that I planned pretty much didn't happen, and the things I didn't plan ended up being better than what I had planned, so that's good. So Dennis gets out pretty easily. That scene doesn't really go anywhere. But we just understand that Artym is now sort of a trickster, and he's not to be trusted. Apparently, neither by the characters or the players somehow.
I was really the moment he was not speaking, I was too suspicious of him. Honestly,
Yes.
that just sealed the deal. Honestly,
Um,
well, sadly because he was nice. There's one thing I would not trusting people are just being nice to them because you're too nice.
Sarah
if you
did
know.
trust him. That's right. Sarah did trust him. Yeah, that's right, Shai. Sarah did trust him, which I appreciated. And is the next thing the Molita scene? Is that the next big thing that happened?
What, isn't it the makeup thing first? Or I don't remember actually.
I mean, you know what? The makeup thing is so separate that I will go over it now anyway. So as Artym is kind of making his way around the.
Oh no, kitten.
Is she okay?
Oh.
Oh.
She disconnected. I'm just
I think sure she'll be back. So one of the big things.
Hello.
So basically, Artym was going around and sort of, sussing out the siblings. And one of the big scenes was he tried to. Oh yeah, Molita did die first from this. Okay, because this is when father and mother start to get a little bit.
Oh no, yeah, that's just
That's
sorry,
right.
sorry. I keep forgetting because like the events are so separated that you actually don't remember like when it happened. You just know how it happened.
Yeah, I do know how it happened.
So
I mean, I guess we'll start going over it. This
should
is.
we go for Militia or makeup? I don't know.
I
I mean,
get.
you choose,
Well, we
Bill, because
should.
you're the host.
We have. I think we should go because I think it is Molita first because this is when things start to get really crazy. So so mother decides that she wants to take one of the kids for a swim in the lake, and this is when we introduce the lake. That becomes a sort of a big character in this whole thing, and so she basically tells. Molita that she wants to teach her how to swim. I don't actually know that. I think she just tells her that she wants to hang out with her. I don't think she actually goes into
Yeah.
the.
It was a mother. It was a
Actually,
mother-daughter
yeah.
day,
Yeah.
and we're going to go
Okay,
somewhere
but
really
yeah,
nice.
I was actually wondering, yeah, why did you choose Militia? Like, was it at random with the dice roll in like behind the scenes,
I mean,
or
I think
No, it's
I think
pretty
it was because
obvious.
Molita was. Yeah, it was Molita was there,
Yeah, Molita was
oh
there.
yeah, I keep for
and
yeah, sure. I mean,
Yeah,
I imagine if someone else was there, he probably would have chosen like closet one. Cause
possibly.
yeah, she dies.
Yeah.
I was sad about that.
Also, before that, right before that scene, mother and father get into a very verbal spat in front of all the kids. This is actually the first time I have two of my characters talking to each other, which is a running theme later on. She was
Yeah.
like, she basically mother is saying, I don't want this. I don't want to be a part of this charade. I'm sick of this life. And father's like trying to
Oh,
like get her to come outside, and she's like,
I
no.
remember this scene. Yeah,
Yeah.
was this actually like trying to like make like mom seem the most aggressive one, so we just did that instead?
Well, it was I mean,
Or
the scene was essentially that mother was confused about if this was worth it or if this was working. And we'll get to what this is, quote unquote.
yeah, of course.
And
That
father, father of course is like, as not to stereotype, but as a lot of men do, was very just a part of the assignment and ready to go forth with it. And of course, mother is questioning it and being like, I don't understand. This isn't working. What are we doing here? So she gets upset. She throws some china at the wall. We teach a few people what china means. And I just picture people being like, you threw china at the wall?
I just imagine she grabbing the whole China container and just throwing it to the wall.
So so then mother says that she wants to have a little mommy daughter day with Molita. Do you want to take us through that, kitten? Oh, this is gonna make me sad.
So yeah, no, when Mama was upset, right? So Molita, being Molita, was just like, Mom, are you okay? Kind of thing. And I don't remember exactly what it was that happened, but Mother was just, well, let's have a day with
Yeah.
each other. Everyone else is gone, type thing. Everyone else was out of the dining room at the time, and Molita was once again the only one there. And she's like, let's go somewhere. Let's have a day. And when they went outside, my very first thought was, this is how I die. This is my character's last interaction right here. Whatever happens after this is where I die. And I was right.
Boy.
So they get to a
Oh,
lake,
wait, no, it's
and
here. Sorry.
Mama informs Melita
Hello.
Hi.
that Mama informs Molita that she's going to teach her how to swim.
Everyone sighs.
So,
Ah,
so
I remember. Ah,
This was
boy.
mother's lowest point.
And like I know a lot of people kicked up a stink like after this because it's like, who does this with their child? How did you teach your child? So it's like,
Oh,
listen, this was the
right.
1940s. Okay, it wasn't up until like, um, maybe 20 years ago where people finally got the idea with maybe we should put our kids into swimming lessons and not throw them off of
Yeah,
docks.
this is really interesting because this is a lot of like age divide, I think, with this RP, because people are like, oh my god, yeah, like you said, like I can't believe people did this with their kids, and I was like, I've been around longer knowing that people taught their kids how to swim like this
Oh
rather
God.
than
Okay, to go.
rather than rather than putting them in classes. Like to me, the
Yeah,
idea of
like
swim class is really foreign to me.
when I was a child, actually, I did not learn how to swim in swim classes. I learned how to swim in a river.
Yeah.
What?
My grandfather was sitting on the bank of the river, and I was playing around in a deeper spot in the river, and I was sitting there, and all of a sudden my grandfather looks over at me and he goes, stick your legs out and let them float up. And I was like, what? He said, do it. So I did it, and my head went underneath the water.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then like that startled me a bit, but I got up from it, right? And he was just like, well, that wasn't so bad, was it? And I was like, no, that was fine. Right? And so that was his attempt at getting me used to actually being underneath the water. Like seeing that, yeah, I went under the water, but I came up okay. So that's fine. Everything is okay. Right? So from there, I actually learned how to swim underneath the water. And that's actually where I built my confidence, was under the water. And when I first learned how to do the doggy paddle, wasn't in a river, it was in the ocean.
So yeah, there you go. So I don't want to hear about when I leave my kid at Walmart and I tell him find your way home. I don't want to hear that that's bad parenting. Okay.
Listen,
But,
that's bad parenting.
There's a difference. Oh God. There's a difference
So
between leaving him just to die, and there's a difference between leaving him to be able to be kidnapped.
well, he hasn't died yet,
Be used as
unfortunately.
a
So
ransom.
I'm going to be right back in a few minutes. I'm going to hop
Okay.
over onto Ara's computer so I don't have to deal with this phone.
That's
Okay.
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 Hope you're doing
We'll have to vamp while you. Oh well, you know what we can do since Noob is here. Noob can introduce Dennis, not
Yeah, his
Delta.
character. Then he's not dead.
How did you come up with
Delta
How did you come up with Dennis, whose name is not Delta?
Alright.
To be honest, I went onto I searched up popular 1940s names.
Oh,
And then
nice.
just picked one. And then just picked one at random.
Amazing.
Not biased by the first letter D.
No, not at all. Of course not. Of course not. And so your ailments were, or let me look at your profile real quick because it's so funny being
I
reintroduced.
think
to all
it
these
was
characters.
claustrophobia.
Claustrophobia and fast runner. Yes.
And running. Yeah.
So we went over the claustrophobia scene where Artym pushed Dennis into a closet and locked him in there.
Yeah.
Which honestly didn't really have that big of an effect. It didn't last that long.
Yeah, it wasn't much.
I mean, it was only for it was literally just telling us, "Hey, he knows about your elements.
Yeah.
Watch out."
Yes. Which was interesting. How did you come up with Dennis's backstory, like the claustrophobia backstory?
Claustrophobia backstory?
Yeah, because it was
I
like
have to go into one. I can't remember.
so it was the backstory was always likes to have races with friends, even if he kept winning. His claustrophobia came from birth, and he hasn't but it hasn't always been this bad. His parents couldn't deal with the constant worsening of with their poor income, eventually reaching their breaking
Right.
point, putting him up for adoption, hoping someone could take better care of him. Very sad.
So why claustrophobia?
Yeah, why'd you choose claustrophobia? I'm just curious. Did you just out of the blue?
I think I just totally.
I mean, it's a
think
good
of
one.
the
It was one of the better ailments. I was like, oh, good claustrophobia, and it was one that I thought that people were going to pick a lot. So, and actually, people did, and I was like, nope, Noob already got it. Noob scooped up claustrophobia before you. So it was a good ailment, and it served you well. I think mostly. I don't remember who died.
Sort of.
Dennis. Yes, Dennis did escape. Okay, yes. Yeah. So, let me see. Oh yeah, we can't. It's funny we can't really keep going without Molita. So I'll tell it from my end of what my plan was for this. Is that oh yes. Oh, perfect timing. Okay. Yes. Now, so continue with whatever happened with poor Molita.
Okay. So basically, what ended up happening was Mother brought Molita out pretty fucking far in that lake, and was basically like, "I'm letting you go now. Have at her,"
Like you do.
which is fine.
Sure.
Yeah, like you do. Children have an instinctual survival skills, anyways. Like if you take a baby, like a literal baby, and throw it in the water, it will float. It
I can't wait to
flips
try that,
itself over
personally.
on its back and just floats.
I will be trying that this weekend. I can't wait.
No, you won't.
Why do you doubt your facts?
Do you even have a baby to begin with?
I'll steal one.
But
Oh my god.
but so yeah, I mean, like that was fine. The roles weren't going like
No, they were not.
horrible. It was actually kind of it kind of worked,
Yeah.
really, because it was like, this is the first the first time this child is learning how to swim.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not gonna be that great starting off, right? It's fine. And kids kind of gotta get used to actually being under the water and, getting over that fear of water and being underneath of it and stuff, which is what I saw Mother was basically doing when she shoved Molita underneath.
Yeah.
This was where my roles started to get bad, though.
Yep.
This is where the dice gods were like, nah. Molita's had a nice run. She's had a lot of good rolls. This is where it ends.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, damn, you gonna do me like this? Like, now?
Oh yeah. Definitely gonna do you like this. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's
I mean, it's Golem.
And
You don't
I
trust
should say,
Golem,
this was also the first simultaneous scene the Cryptidverse has ever had. So this was happening simultaneously with Simon, Artym, and Sarah, as Artym really wanted to get the makeup from Mother's room, from Mother and Father's room. So this was exciting because we had two scenes where people were in danger and anything could have happened. And I actually thought so I should set this up. So basically, I know Swift is here, but basically, father was sleeping in their room after the argument, and the three of them, Artym, Sarah, and Simon, were going to sneak in. Oh, actually, Artym was going to send Simon to sneak in to retrieve the makeup from the makeup counter or the vanity, whatever. So as Simon knocks a bunch of shit over, Father wakes up sort of in a daydreamy rage and starts attacking Simon while Molita is slowly drowning. Now you may continue, kitten.
Yeah, that was. I mean, there's really not really like a whole lot to continue with. My main thought process was like, okay, so 3 rolls. My last 2 were horrible. Some of the worst rolls in the game,
Oh,
I
yeah.
do believe.
For sure.
Yeah, actually, I think that was
I do
like,
believe.
For
yeah,
sure.
honestly, like your rolls were super bad at that moment. Like
Yeah.
later on, they were. It was just like you had some pretty good rolls, and they just kept down. You were like, nope,
Yeah.
not today.
Yep. 4, 6,
There's
1.
just nope.
Yeah.
Yep, that one. I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
And
well.
in a turn of events,
I was right.
yeah, in a turn of events, Mother starts crying and says, "No, my baby!" And everyone's like, "Fuck you, Mother."
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, to be fair, she drew a chat. I don't know what you were expecting the legend to be.
It was actually kind of great though, because like I woke up in a mood and I was like, I want to do something dramatic today. And I had planned on doing something dramatic in Seven Sins, and it was going to be glorious, really. But then this happened with Melita, and I was like, I can be dramatic here too.
Oh,
Hey,
no.
fire! Can I write a death scene?
I
And
think
that's
you were the
did.
first one to do that. I don't remember who came up with it, but I think it was you, and it
Mhm.
just came up as staple
Yes,
of it.
yes. Kitten has completely started a trend of writing final death notes, which is
I mean, why wouldn't you want to? It's your
It is.
character's final hurrah, really.
so good.
Like,
So good. I think honestly, I think Melita's death is probably top 5 in the Cryptidverse. I think it's really really good the way it was handled.
thank
and
you.
It was very. It
Well,
was
you
very
I-
good.
Yeah,
guys
honestly,
wanted
Which-
to
I
finish
can't
your
even debate
cutoff,
with
right?
that.
Which one or the other of 4?
I do love what's from the Vines. God, now I can't remember anyone's characters. I mean, Delta's death in the Vines is also top 5. Delta's ridiculous death in the Vines. I also love who is Ray playing in is it
Yeah.
Nikki?
Yeah, Nick, I am
Yeah,
still
Nick.
mad
Yeah,
about
Nikki's
it.
Nikki's death that's a really good one. That's a really sad one.
This so
Um,
mad about that one. My
And
God.
then Kieran's death in the Fox is also really good. I did like that. Because it was sort of like a almost no. Yeah. I'll have to think about it more. So we actually skipped a really huge thing that happened before Melita died, which was the kids come outside to find that Miss Margaret is standing at the top of the house.
Oh, yeah, that.
This
Oh,
is
God. Why
very-
did you.
This is very big. And she eventually jumps to her death in front of all the kids, which that
She should have
really
done a backflip. Missed opportunity.
she should have cartwheeled. Should have swiped. Did a full like Simone Biles routine in the air. Yeah, so she died in front of all the kids. And this is also when we first start seeing Artym being very weird because he pokes the body and smiles. So yeah, it gets a little weird, and not Miss Margaret. Mother slaps him, for being so fucking weird. And so then after that, Molita is drowned in the lake by her mother. We now have a death count of 2 of 15 of the characters. And on the other scene, where Simon and Sarah are being attacked by Father, who's in some sort of weird rage, they finally get away after Father rolls a 1, and he severely injures himself. I forgot how he did it.
I think he rolled out and he got his head hit by a corner.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he got his head hit by a corner. He got.
I was actually thinking he was dead.
Yeah.
But no, he just was playing dead at that point.
Yes.
How did he survive that even?
I mean, it was just a knock to the head from the corner. I mean, you can survive that. That's not a death sentence.
I suppose that's true.
I mean, I guess you could die from that if you had a sort of softer head, but so the next scene is really interesting because we finally get a Damien scene, and Artym decides that he wants to have a little sword fight with Damien, and so they go up to the attic, which Sarah and Simon are also kind of around there, but decided not to follow them, which I was happy about. And because Artym's whole thing was he was trying to isolate everybody. He was trying to make sure that everyone got isolated to some success, and mostly not that much success. So Damien goes up to the attic. They find some swords. They start sword fighting. Artym, of course, gets a little too into it. Damien's like, "Hey, homie, we just playing." And Artym's like, "No, we're not." So then Artym finds that there's a window, finds, quote unquote, that there's a window to the attic that can connect to walking up to the roof. So Artym goes out there, of course, and Damien follows him, and Artym, of course, is playing a little too much on the roof, striking him, and Damien gets a little bit uncomfortable and nervous, and then finally... Artym falls off the house into a bush, and he cries out, and of course everyone gets there, and Artym points to Damien, saying that he blames him, and that Damien was the one who was the aggressor, which was interesting, and so Artym goes down. They carry him back in. Father specifically carries him back in. And he looks, and he's very upset with Damien. So, yeah, that happened. And I think the next big thing is the Sarah Simon stuff. Let me make sure. This is when the mystery man comes through. So the next thing that happens is that there's a gentleman who comes through who's doing a welfare check on the family. He claims that he is from the Census Bureau, so to sort of take down how many people are in the house. And so he talks to Father, and Father's not super... He's being a little cagey about having visitors. And he won't let him in the door. He asks how many kids are in the house. Father says 10. And then Father goes, "Oh, wait, never mind. It's 12. And the guy's like, 12? He's like, 12, I think. So Father doesn't know how many kids he has, which is a major red flag. Also, I mean, or it's just a man thing. Who knows? So he tries to get into why they adopt. And he asks about Artym, who he can't seem to find any sort of adoption papers or record for. And Father, of course, says that there's adoption papers. He's being very cagey about it. And he doesn't have the name of the agency that he got Artym from. Father's just not. He's not really passing this interaction. So the man leaves. And he looks suspiciously at the house, and he sees a man in the window, which is very interesting. and he's a little confused because Mr. Ferguson said there are only 2 adults in the house, and one of them was his wife, and this does not look like a woman, so this is very interesting. So I'm just going to speed through a little bit here, and so the next big thing, I think, is that's right. So, so you're good, Swift. So eventually, how does this start? Because
What thing? What thing?
the Simon Sarah bit. I'm trying to remember. I'm looking through.
They were going to the forest because of searching for Militia.
That's right.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I think they were searching for Molita.
Because I remember Kitten was like
No,
bad that.
you're wrong.
What happened?
They were not searching. Artym was dragging Sarah.
That's right.
No.
That is right,
that-
because father was that's right, that's what it was. So RTM was trying to convince Sarah to go to the lake with him.
I thought you would say that father thing happened before that. Not that makes sense. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
confused.
Because father and the man were distracted talking to each other about I guess he came back, I guess, and they were talking about the children. So RTM takes Sarah down to the lake, and so I'm trying to see exactly. Okay, Sarah, you go check up on him. Simon nodded, said each other in conversation. Await her condition. RTM looks up, smiles, and offers her a hand. And so they start to go down to the lake, and Sarah's saying, "Slow down, slow down." Shai's writing in chat. RTM drags Sarah along. Simon was looking for her. He got her to the lake. She hears Simon and calls out. Oh, I see. Because Simon and Sarah are never far away from each other. So eventually they get down to the lake, and Artym, of course, is nonverbal at this point, and he points to Molita's body, which is sitting in the lake. And I think Sarah jumps in, right? I think Sarah jumps in to go save her. And body reported, yeah. So then Sarah starts going out to Molita, and so I'm trying to remember how Artym jumps in the water to swim after the body, struggles to swim. He does not know how. Artym, just shy of the body, goes under. Sarah becomes distraught. Artym comes. Hey, Ghostface. So I'm trying to remember how the order of events here is really confusing to me. Sarah is crying, hugs Simon, pointed to Lake Molita. Yeah, so Simon, that's right. So Simon joins Sarah before things get crazy. And Artym is in there. Sarah's crying. Simon comes down. Artym, quote unquote, goes underwater. And then at the last second, he pulls Simon into the lake. That's what it is. He gets close. That's right, yeah. So then a struggle ensues where Simon and Artym are in the water trying to fight. Gets blooded, and since then I despised you, says Shai. Love you too, Shai. So
Oh boy.
I know that Swift is busy. I guess I'll talk through this since they're both busy.
Oh boy, Shai's really angry. Oh boy.
I know. Shai. This is why Shai hates the Fergusons. So there's a huge struggle that happens where Artym essentially goes back and forth between Simon and Sarah, and he tries to drag Sarah into the lake, and does so successfully. Eventually, with yeah, so it's interesting because I was trying as RTM to get Sarah into the lake, but it wasn't working because Shy was rolling so well. And then also Simon. What was interesting was that Simon Swift was trying to specifically focus on Sarah and not fighting RTM, which I thought was an interesting choice. So yeah, it was just interesting. So, RTM was like, picking up rocks and throwing it at Simon and trying to fight him. And eventually RTM starts to choke. I think he gets on top of Sarah and starts to choke her to death. And then I believe this is where Simon leaves her behind, which was really interesting choice. Am I right about that, Swift? In the chat, I don't know if you're listening, or Taka, I don't know.
Well, yeah, it was like Sarah
Yes.
basically told him to run, but then,
That's right. Yeah.
But then,
Yeah.
he was like too heartbroken to even think straight after that.
That's right. So Simon pieces out, and RTM chokes Sarah on the side of the lake, which is so sad. It's so sad. And poor Sarah dies. Shy, do you have any feelings about this? I'm sure you have. You don't have strong feelings about this at all, Shy.
Swift, I hate you for that. You know that, right?
Shy says, what do I say? Except curse you out. In each language.
Boy.
So Shai's really happy about this.
To be fair, it wasn't Sarah, so at least you didn't sacrifice a canon character.
So Sarah, of course dies, and Artym pushes her body in the water. Simon comes back and sees Father talking to the man, and basically pulls him away. The father is more than happy to not talk to this person who's clearly not exactly who he says he is. And
yeah, like Simon was like too grief-stricken to even think straight. He basically lost the only person, or rather, the closest person to him ever. The one.
And
So-
I would imagine what would have happened if we just screamed what happened while the man was there. I know that would probably not happen, but imagine.
no, it could have. I fully prepared for Simon to, spill the beans or to get to, I had a lot of things. This is where I was like, I had to write down a ton of scenarios because I was like, oh shit, anything could happen. But yeah, are you free to talk through this scene, Swift?
All right, so basically Simon in his grief basically like got too vulnerable at that point, like because he saw Father, and then as much as he was supposed to not trust him after that choking incident, where he was too grief stricken to even like think straight, so he was just like crying out to Father, basically telling him, and then in a moment in his grief, he just slips out that he just wants Sarah back, and then he's just like, "Oh, I'm all too happy to freaking give you Sarah back. I'm all too happy to give like this opportunity and all that stuff." And then basically just freaking, and then like as much as part of Simon in his head like wants him to freaking run and all that stuff, but too grief stricken, he was like not thinking straight anymore. And he was like so unmotivated to fight because he just lost someone he cared about. He lost like the person he was closest to. So when he was drowned by Father, he was just like, it was like, to be honest, that he was no longer sad at that moment. He was just, yeah, finally.
Yeah.
Well, not. Good thing we're not that separated. We're not that separated for long. We're not that separated for long anymore, Sarah. Let's go home together.
It was very sad. It was very, very, very sad. Yeah, it was. This was one of those big moments that that it was also very controversial in the Cryptidverse universe. It was
What?
I said the Cryptidverse universe when I could have just said the Cryptidverse.
Yeah.
But it was yeah. How did you all feel about the Sarah Simon the back to back death?
How to explain this calmly and kindly without peeling your eyes off?
Sadness, pain. This is not a popular decision. This is not popular, and I stress to everyone that this was not a plan of mine. I actually planned for it to go in the direction of the kids. I thought the kids were going to prevail from this. So, but it did not happen.
So they would have if there wasn't so much meta and everyone decided, oh no, Mother is evil, even though we don't have any real belief or reason to decide Mother is evil, but she's evil.
Okay, to be fair, there was one piece of evidence.
One piece of evidence that nobody else knew.
No, the conversation thing. Everyone misinterpreted why. That's why I asked the question of why was the purpose of it, because everyone thought that was trying to make a red herring, basically. Because
Which
no
conversation?
one understood what it meant really. The conversation between dad and mom, like when she started to think if this was not working at all.
Oh yeah,
Stuff.
people. What was happening? What was interesting is that sort of the and this is kind of an interesting social experiment because everyone sort of assumed that Mother was like unhinged or like not in her right mind, which you could argue for or against that, but I think at that point everyone had just decided that she was like not okay and not someone to be trusted because she was upset, but she was upset for a very, very, very good reason. Because she
No
married a
one
man who
knew that
sacrificed
he
his
could
kids.
go.
I mean, like,
Well,
what probably didn't help was the wording.
Yeah,
I don't
only
know.
the word didn't take to because I quoted that because he was the calm person, and when you see an angry person and a calm person discussing, who will you think that's something in that really?
I tried very hard. I was trying to throw you all off the scent, and it worked. So, technically,
I mean, it worked for some.
for some, yes, it worked for some.
It didn't work for me, and I ended up dying.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling you that the moment she was, I was feeling it that she was really going out or she was going to test something, and the moment she threw you there, I was like, she's going to die.
So in the
Did you help Adele that she just threw Kita's character in the lake and she died? So
yeah, go ahead.
The thing is when you get your mind out of the adult aspect and like really into the mindset of a child, you gotta think in these type of situations, is an 8-year-old to a 12-year-old gonna be like, Mom looks unhinged. Something is wrong with Mother. No, they're not. They're going to be like, Mama, are you okay? Is everything
they're still going to
okay?
notice she's mad though.
You never know.
It's not a. I mean, we were
I
thinking
see
they were
both.
mad, but I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that not everyone acted
It
like
can go both
they didn't
ways.
work.
It could go both
Yeah,
ways,
like
yeah.
the only characters they were like half characters that really acted meta, but half of the others were like just curious of what happened. It just really
Yeah.
because there were many interactions with Mother too. Like the only interaction after that was kittens, actually. But I remember right.
So
It did not help that her other interaction was just kittens, and she just died.
So the man takes this
It was a
opportunity.
mess.
The man takes this opportunity to do a little snooping while father's busy, committing patricide. No, what's the one where you kill your
What
kid?
was his patricide?
No, patricide's where you kill your dad. Whatever the one where you kill your kids. Whatever I've done. So thank you. So he goes through. He goes into their bedroom. and he makes some rolls to make. I mean, let's talk about the person who made the best rolls, and it was the least. Well, it was helpful for the story, but the least helpful for the characters was the strange man. He made the best rolls in the entire game. He never rolled less than a 20. So
Yeah, how the fuck did that happen?
truly
even?
Every
amazing.
single and I was like, it's not me because I'm rolling poorly for everybody else, but you know.
My rolls were great until they mattered.
Oh yeah. Until they mattered, right? So he discovers that there are a group of letters, pretty much saying the same thing in a false panel. I'll read one of them. Mrs. Fielding, letter dated 1929. Mrs. Fielding, my wife and I would love to welcome your child into our home. We understand you've fallen on hard times. Many of the American people have. We would be happy to pay whatever fee you see fit for your ill children. We believe it is the utmost importance that they are cared for, Mr. and Mrs. Spaulding. Same thing, but signed Mr. and Mrs. Ronan. Same thing, but signed in Mr. and Mrs. Slatterly. So we come to realize that mother and father, or pretty much just father, but mother and father have been falsifying identities to avoid any suspicion that they are taking in all of these kids. And then he finds a letter that is written to the, Fergusons. And it says, Mr. and Mrs. Garish, please give my son back. I'm begging you. I will pay or do whatever you want, but please have a heart and give me my boy back. You may not know this, but we lost 3 before this to disease, and our son is a miracle to us. My wife and I tried so long to conceive, and in spite of all his differences, he is our miracle. Please, we will give you anything you want. We just want our son back. He is our everything. Please find in your heart to give him back. We will not ask any questions. Very sad. Spoiler alert, they did not give their son back. So the man is fully
They gave them up
suspicious.
in the first place.
Well, yeah. So also this is a good fun fact, is that during the Depression, selling your kids actually was more common than you would think, obviously, today. People were so very, very poor. There's actually a really famous, very sad picture online from the Depression of someone sitting their kids, and there's a sign saying how much each of the kids are. And the mother's like crying off to the side. So yeah, during the Depression, people were like very, very, very poor. So that did happen.
Like, you got to do what's best for your kids and what's best for your family.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, for some of them, it was selling their children. Hopefully, their children went to good homes and they were able to feed themselves.
That's true. Listen, I literally just put my kids up on eBay, and I just put it on the free tab, and I just say, please, just take them. I'll ship them in a box.
Free children,
please.
Yeah.
I would have not have done well in the Depression. I would have been like, I don't even need money for this.
No.
So then the next thing that happens is that the man realizes that these kids are in danger, and these kids are essentially all kidnapped. So he writes a letter. He writes a quick letter and slips it in Jackie's book. Jackie is down in the study reading a book, and Ghost says he wants one of my kids. Ghost, aren't you like 60? I don't know. So he writes a letter, slips it in Jackie's book, and the letter says, get your siblings and get out of this house as soon as possible. Your parents are trying to hurt you. I will send help. And this is where shit gets real. I mean, shit already got real when 3 of the children died, but shit is getting more real. And so Jackie and Joseph, I believe, are right next to each other, and they are trying to figure out what they are to do about this letter. The man leaves, presumably to go get help, and this is where we finally see Marlowe. Marlowe shows up, and who's definitely been here the whole time, and everyone is sort of
Marlowe. To be fair, Marlowe was in and out.
Yes,
they
Marlowe's
were there for the croquet, and they
true.
did make a few rolls and stuff.
That is true.
But this is when they got really active.
Yeah,
and this was interesting.
This is their time to shine. This is kind of everyone's time to shine. So the remaining
Except
kids. That was your time to dim. So
Yeah.
so the kids sort of all pair up, and I think it was Cheeks, Joseph, and Jackie, I believe, who kind of paired up and were trying to find a way to maybe make a break for it out of the house. So they find a little area under the stairs, under the front stairs to hide. So Artym walks out in front of the house, and he sort of looks at his siblings. He's a little confused what's happening, well, feigning confusion. And Artym decides that he should go. He could maybe like get in the car and drive the kids out of there. And Artym goes, asks Cheeks to look for the keys. And I'm trying to remember what happened next. Artym goes and looks for the keys. He looks for the keys to the car. I assume he finds them, right? This is so hard. This is why I need like Shadow or someone here. Artym has trouble finding the keys. He can't find them. Everyone is out of character happy that he can't find the keys. Even though he's trying to get you guys out of there. I don't know why you guys are upset about that. That's right. So then we get a confrontation from Mother. Mother happens to have the keys. And she says, you're not taking my children anywhere. And she says, I know what you are and I know exactly what you've done and you won't get away with it. And Mother tries to attack Artym and he dodges out of the way. And they have a full-on tussle. And Mother pulls out a knife. And she's ready to cut a bitch. And what ends up happening is that, Artym makes a break for it. And she tries to stab him. And what happens? She stabs through his shirt. She doesn't... does she actually draw blood? Does she actually cut him? I don't remember. I don't think she does. So he dodges, and then he, I believe, runs away. Oh, no, Mother does actually stab him. She stabs him in the calf. And Artym has trouble using his right leg. He collapses. She stabs him in the back. So this is also a controversial thing that happened because everyone was like, Artym is dead. Artym is definitely dead.
And then, seriously though, what is he made of? He survived that and a crash. Like, seriously, what is he made of? He seems like a robot.
A back is very large, and you can survive a stab in the back. It happens.
Wait, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
When Dennis and Artym were driving into the trees, Delta got out, and then Artym rolled a 1.
Dennis got out.
Dennis
got out. Not Delta.
Oh my god.
There was no Delta.
You're still making the same
exist.
mistake with your voice chat. Oh my god. I like the imagine when he presents his ox. He says, "Oh, this is Dennis from the Cryptidverse, and this is Dennis from the Cryptidverse too."
So wait, what was your question?
Maybe you should name your characters something that doesn't start with a D.
That's your next challenge.
Yeah.
Noob.
Oh, there, yeah.
I love you, Noob. All right, Noob, what was your question? Sorry.
Artym die?
No. No. He didn't.
Okay, this is unfair.
Yes,
unfair. Delta died.
Yes. Yes.
Delta died, and then Artym gets plot armor.
I will admit, I did give Artym plot armor. However, Artym was no longer a threat to anyone for the rest of the Cryptidverse, or for the rest of this RP. So that was my trade-off, was that Artym actually didn't hurt anyone else. Am I right? Am I That's true. Yeah, that's true. So Mother finally gets the keys. She pretty much goes to all the kids that she can, and it's like, please come with me. I'm gonna get you out of here. And of course, everyone says, "Mama, you crazy. I'm not hanging out with you."
Yeah, except Dennis. Dennis was half no, half yes.
Dennis and
I mean, he didn't have much of a choice.
It was like a kidnap. It was a kidnap and saving thing, super strange. But
so
I'll be completely honest with you. If Molita had been alive, she would have willingly went with Mother.
and then she would have survived, which is the saddest thing. But
Yeah.
Noob, what were you thinking about the whole Mother wants to help you thing?
I'll have to go back into the thing.
It's April 27th. If you go into the thread,
Okay.
you know, I will if you want to do a search, this is the line that happened.
Yeah, I'm searching right now.
Also Caddy, Nalam, and Candy are here. Hi, everyone. So essentially what happened.
He's been here this entire time.
Yes, Nalam has to be here. I just acknowledge him now. As I normally do with Nalam. I just ignore him until I acknowledge him way later, until it doesn't matter.
That's what you do with all of your mods.
Gatti.
And so this is like the big, we're getting to the big climax here. And so Dennis, Mother is like trying to get Dennis to come with her. And then Dennis does something very interesting. I'm listening for research purposes. Oh, really? That's what I say about. Never mind. I was gonna talk about masturbation, but maybe now's not the time when kids are around. We're talking about kids.
What?
Fire.
Why?
It's fine.
No.
Why?
So
Why?
So this is when Dennis kicks Mother in the shin, which was like, I was not prepared for that. I did not think Dennis was going to assault his mother.
I mean, what if she had a knife? I don't know.
She wasn't wielding it at him.
But when you see your mother with a knife on her back, I don't see her with her face. I hope she was talking.
So
I don't know.
Oh, he has a knife.
Yeah, well, I mean,
She has a knife.
you know, it wasn't, fine. I will concede. Fine, she has a knife. She's a danger to everyone, I guess.
Oh no. An adult has a knife who attacked one person but didn't attack you, and then looks at you and is like, "Come with me. I'm going to bring you to safety." And then you kick them in the shin.
Thank you, Kim. Clapping every word. Yes.
Of course, safety. Safety to where specifically?
Well,
that's the question.
We will get there.
You weren't thinking that. I mean, when you think safety, yeah, but I mean, we are talking about children that Mother came to Sanity after she killed Militia, so she was tested, and now she realizes that she's in snow because of the hell that happened.
I just love the fact that everyone, like none of the NPCs could be trusted, which is my favorite thing. It was like if any of the characters ran into Artym, they were scared. Mother or father, they were scared, and also the man. Some people were like afraid of the man still. I'm like, he's.
To be fair, the man was the only
stranger.
one I trusted. Oh my god! The man is the only one I trusted because he came out of, not the place they were going to get killed.
I wasn't going to give you 4 bad guys. That would have been a lot.
Exactly. So we're like, yeah,
I mean-
he's probably good.
So not trusting the strangers on brand for kids. That is true. Yeah, no, that is true. That is on brand for kids. That's fair. Caddy is correct. Hey, Anime, we're doing a podcast on our RP, the Fergusons. We're actually near the end. So Mother is really adamant about trying to get Dennis to help to go with her in the car. So she starts to drag Dennis along. Let me see what Mother continues toward the house. Mother's now back where she dropped the keys. She notices they're missing somewhere in the grass. Oh yeah, and then she says, "Help me find them." So she starts like frantically looking for the keys. And Dennis breaks down crying, which is so sad. That's the most kid-like thing. That's one of my favorite kid things that any of the cast ever did. Just in the middle of everything, just like, you know what? I'm gonna take a pause here to cry, and just stood there and cried. So then we went into quiet time for a second. So she, as Mother, madly looks through the woods for keys, which honestly been there. A drunk night, lots of cocaine. I've lost my keys. In
I
fields
never
too.
understood actually. What were the keys in the forest to begin with?
Where were the keys? What'd you say?
Why were the keys in the forest?
I'm trying to remember, because she dropped the keys. I think it was that Artym took
I thought it had
them?
something to do with, yeah.
Yeah,
That had
that's what
something
it
to do
was.
with RTM because the keys went missing and then his body was gone. So
That's right. Because oh yeah, okay, I know where this is going. So now we get back.
I would hope so.
God, not again.
Oh boy, this is also a controversial thing that happened. So we get back to action time. A car pulls up to the property. The man gets out, and he's trying to see if any of the kids are around. Of course, everyone is hiding. So Cheeks. Yeah, so Cheeks. Cheeks interacts with the man, and he reveals that he's Detective Claiborne, and he's not a Census Bureau taker man. He's actually here to help them. So Cheeks is, of course, scared because stranger danger, and so she says she's asking if what does she do? Oh yeah, so this is when they get in the car, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they all get in the car, and that's what it is. So the detective tells the kids it's Joseph, Cheeks, and I believe, is it Dennis? I think it's the three of them. She tells them to get in the car. He tells them to get in the car and wait for them. Wait for him while which is this is kind of a decision where I was like, the detective's not entirely smart. Maybe Fire wasn't smart for doing this, but it's very like we're in the middle of danger. Although the detective wasn't really clear how much of danger there was, but he was sort of like, "You guys wait here out in the open. I'll be back," because he was trying to get all the kids in one. He was trying to get all the kids in one lump sum. He was trying to be like, "Let's get everybody together." So as the kids are sitting there, someone pops out from the back seat. It's Artym, your favorite friend.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm starting to hate you. How did he hide even? Why?
How do you hide? Well, there's a blanket in the back seat, and so I was trying to make sure that everyone got in the front seat, but I think it was Cheeks. She was the only one in the back seat. Yeah, Cheeks got in the back seat. So I was
and then he's like, your like Cheeks actually got out, but Dennis didn't. I think both of them had out. I don't remember. I only remember like the plot armor of Artym just flying out and not dying.
Yeah. Artym jumps in the front seat, starts driving them to the lake, which I think, as we now know, is where he needs to put all the bodies. Yeah, the lake equal bad. So he tries to drive, and Cheeks, I think it was who was fighting. Yeah, I think it was Dennis. Dennis started fighting. Yeah, I was like, all right, Dennis goes from crying in the middle of the street to fighting bitches. All right, I stand. Work, Dennis. And then Cheeks is fighting, and Artym's just fighting all of these children, but he is also a child, so it makes sense, right? So Dennis punches Artym, which is like, you better work, Dennis. And then they go careening all the way into a tree after a lot of tussling. Let me get to that point where they get to a tree. Is that what happens? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Artym eventually runs into a tree, goes flying out Delta style, and
No,
My
Delta
God.
just died in the
No, Delta would have been impaled by that tree
yes.
at that point.
Yeah.
And so, Artym goes flying out. The kids are just very, very mangled and trying to get out as quickly as possible. And then, as they come back up to the main drive, who shows up but Father? And we all love Father, right?
We love him until
No.
this scene.
That's her.
Do not love Father.
Um,
Father was too calm during everything.
We
crazy.
didn't know until he revealed himself, so we were stupid.
So poor Father. So Dennis goes up to Father, and I think there's a standoff scene between Father, Mother, and Dennis, because Father's kind of trying to grab Dennis, and Mother is like, I can't. I'm powerless against him. I can't save you from him. Which was like, oh my God, is Dennis gonna die? Is Dennis gonna die?
I remember the scene actually. Yeah, that was actually the most emotional scene I've seen in that roleplay.
I know.
Apart from Sarah's death, and it was arrested. It was like such a moment because it wasn't just him, Father just killing and just being in the body there. It was literally a fighting between a child and him.
Yeah.
He just have Father just giving in and just like said, just go. I have the pistol. I'm going to kill you anyway. Just go.
So eventually everyone makes a break for it, especially, Cheeks and Joseph make a break for it specifically. And this is one of the saddest moments where the ailments really took over. And and Joseph has asthma. And so it affected his role. And at the very last roll, in true Cryptidverse fashion, this has happened in literally every single Cryptidverse.
Yeah.
The rolls are
in
good
the vines
until the
with
very
the
last
photo.
one. And Father shoots
Italy
Dennis.
Yeah.
Father kills
Italy
Dennis.
happened with
Yeah.
Ethan too.
Yeah.
Like, Ethan was doing so many good roles, and then in the moment of her time,
Kiddens was a little different because the series of roles that Kitten had to do were bad. This is the one. This is the. We have to start making a name for this. This is where the roles are decent until they are fatal. But yeah, so
Yeah, I
that
suppose.
that is a normal thing that you see happen actually when you play a lot of games that require dice rolls. This happens a lot in D&D as well, and like Call of Cthulhu kind of stuff. Because I mean, like think back to The Haunting. Like
Yes.
your characters and everyone else's characters were doing really, really well with their dice rolls, and I was really excited. I thought you guys were gonna make it until the knife.
Yep. And then we
Then
just
everything went to
fucking
shit.
RNG. Yeah, it's the worst. It's the worst. So
It's
then,
the dice gods.
I think I have
They
a
were
name
just
for
like,
it.
"Nah."
what is your name for it, Swift?
I will call it like, you know how you push a boulder up in the hill, and then just when you think it's safe, and then all of a sudden the boulder suddenly starts rolling down the other side of the hill rapidly. So I'll just call it the boulder. Sorry,
It's the
sorry,
boulder.
Ma.
The boulder.
It's the boulder.
I'll
So
just call it the downhill effect.
or the downhill effect. Actually, that's
Yeah.
better.
No kill effect, yeah, please.
So the next thing that happens, poor Cheeks is heartbroken over her brother being shot in front of her. These poor children are gonna have so much therapy. And Cheeks is the first person in the not in the Cryptidverse, first person in the Fergusons to escape. Cheeks leaves and takes off. And is somehow going to communicate, hopefully, to the police that their parents are trying to kill them, and succeeding. So
Ooh.
so poor. We don't have Shadow here. Oh wait, do we? Did Shadow just join?
Yeah, with you. He's here.
Oh, Shadow is
He has
here.
been here.
Oh, that is true. Oh, well, Joseph, if you're able, Shadow, if you're able to talk, you can talk about Joseph if you want to, but I don't know if you can.
I'm just trying to be quiet. A small young lad is.
Oh, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Why did I start
10
whispering?
feet away from me.
Oh, okay. That's all right. You could mute your mic. It's all right. So poor Joseph. We love Joseph. Very sad. Shot by father. Father now, if you're keeping count, this fun game that we're doing, father now has 2 kills. Mother has
keeping count of the fun game. Father's kill count.
the kill count. So father has 2 kills so far. Artym has 1 kill. Molita has 1 kill, and if you want to be crass about it, Miss Margaret also has 1 kill. Next, father. Father. This is the big scene where father grabs Dennis's leg.
Molita having no.
Did I say Molita? I meant mother.
Yeah,
Mother.
you did. I was like, how does
Molita killed our hearts.
Molita is dead.
Oh yes, you guys forgot. You guys forgot that scene where
Father
Molita choked out somebody. Molita killed somebody, and you all thought she was so cute.
I mean, to be completely honest with you, there was a side of Molita that nobody really got to see.
No.
If it had been a choice between, say, her own safety and Ronnie, Ronnie would have been dead. like because of what she did to her teddy bear. No joke. Because of what she had done to her teddy bear, Molita was more likely to push Ronnie into oncoming traffic.
Oh God.
Than pull her out of the way.
Oh God. So the next. Well, glad we got a.
I know you guys love Molita. Sorry for bursting your bubble, but my little girl was a fucking psycho.
Oh God. Well,
Man.
she learned from the best, her parents. So.
To me, that makes sense. I mean, like, if someone breaks your teddy bear, like, when you were a child, wouldn't you hate them? Like, a lot?
I mean,
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
that's the thing. And the thing is, I didn't get to really do this a lot with Molita, but both of her parents were very violent people, which is why she would have reacted that the way she did.
Interesting.
Right? Because the actual cause of the car crash, I mentioned it, but I didn't go into detail with it. Mother and father were arguing. Mother hit father on the side of the head, like she hit him right in the temple, and it caused him to pass out, and they swerved into oncoming traffic.
Oof.
Oh God.
Such a light.
Imagine.
Such a light fun
Yeah,
RP we
imagine
have.
like. I like how this like before everyone had these backstories and they were the sad parts, but now it's just fire just making the sad part with the loss bleeding and stuff. Like we passed from like incest to girls bleeding. I don't know which one is better.
Yep. Oh well.
And
Yes, tune into the Fox to hear all about crossbreeding. But I mean, we have some nasty stuff coming up soon. So there's one of my favorite scenes actually is right here, the Dennis father scene where father's trying to drag him in, and everyone thinks Dennis is going to die.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we all thought.
I
Dennis
mean,
was
what
gonna
do
die.
you expect?
Did you
Yeah.
almost have like little cliffhanger there when like, he was like almost dead, and then you're just like, oh well, that's it for today.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And everyone was so mad at me. Yes, I stopped at one point because. So basically, father was upset with Dennis for resisting, and father sort of has this idea in his head that these kids should be more compliant about dying. And he essentially is like, why are you trying to ruin this family? Like, just come with me. Like, I don't understand why you have such an issue with being drowned in a lake. What is your problem?
Yeah,
Everyone's
why
doing
would
it.
I have such an issue about, like,
All the
you
cool
know,
kids are
dying?
into it. Yeah. so yeah, they end up going. So actually, how does Dennis get through this? I don't. Oh, let me read this part here.
I think it was because there was one role that you like. You had one bad role with father because he still had something on his leg or something
Yeah.
like that, right?
I think
Had one bad
Father
role or
ended up
some.
Father ended up getting shot, if memory
Oh.
serves.
That's right.
Oh yeah, right.
Let me
That's
see.
true. Like, okay, no, yeah. He if
You
Dennis
wish.
noticed the knife on the leg, he pushed it
That's
deeper,
right.
I think,
Yeah.
on his leg.
Yeah.
Fired just the weapon, and well, they did happen, and just boom.
So Dennis gets some answers in the form of asking just plainly, "Why are you doing this?" And Father has his little villain speech of, the typical, "I'm going to tell you everything because I think you're going to die anyway." So essentially,
Yeah.
he was saying that he's saying that the wife and I needed this. We need you to help us, and essentially alluding to the fact that killing or bringing these kids to the lake, killing these kids is somehow going to keep them afloat, alive, financially perhaps. And he talks about a sacrifice. He asked Dennis if he knows what a sacrifice is. Just so creepy.
Yeah,
So
I think I was going way too far for a 10-year-old. It's my biggest problem to act out with someone not my age.
It was very. He was a very savvy 10-year-old. I will say he got very. He wised up really quick from going from crying to being an incredibly inquisitive and interrogating 10-year-old. So basically, the father spills the beans on the fact that he needs these. Is your father expressly forbid it? So he essentially says that he needs these kids in order to be sacrifices. And Dennis now has the gun, and he's sort of pointing it at Father. Father.
Crap, it's already had the ghost there. Like really crazy.
Yeah, he had the gun. He pulled the trigger. He ended up didn't he end up shooting Father like we said? And
Dennis missed, I think.
Oh, Dennis missed. And then at the same time, we have the detective comes back and is looking through the rooms. Oh, you know what? I'm going to save that one for later because that's when the big stuff happens. We'll just stick with Dennis for now. How does Dennis... Is that how Dennis got away? He literally just shot him and then...
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember.
Mother hit Dennis in the head with a rock or something. I think it was something blunt, and then I was taken out. Right?
Yes. So, but I just... I remember that part. I'm just trying to remember how exactly...
Mother took him out, actually. I don't know why. I think you actually skipped that part.
No, because I think Mother did something to Father. I remember.
I think she was the one who shot Father, actually, because it wasn't really explained. I remember Dennis getting knocked out, and that's when you paused it.
Now I know what happened.
You skipped that scene.
This is an off-camera scene, and I know exactly what happened. So because I thought this would be interesting. So Mother actually does end up knocking out Dennis because she's determined to take him, and she takes the gun and she shoots Father. That is what happens. I do remember that now, but I wanted that to be off screen. I love now this is a movie off screen. So Dennis is knocked out. Who knows what happened to him? We're gonna find out in a second. Spoiler alert. And so
I remember when that happened, everyone was thinking, "Oh God, is Artym back?" We thought he survived it.
He was so sure he was back.
We were like, "Oh my!" We were so sure. We were like, "Yeah, probably Artym came back." Nope, Mom was that determined to save one of her children.
That's right. So the detective goes, oh, you know what? Let me also go through Marlowe's stuff. So, essentially nothing crazy happens with Marlowe. She just decides that she's going to jump out of the window and to safety with Damien. And it's just a lot of, they grab pillows and they try to set up different things. And spoiler alert, she never actually has to go out the window. But Damien does, but we'll get there. So the detective goes down. He finds keys. He goes down into the basement where something very strange happens. He finds cells, like jail cells. And
I remember this
he
scene.
finds an unusual being in one of the cells. I don't know if you can say disfigured anymore. I don't know. Well, we're going to say disfigured, and apologies if that is not the correct terminology. We find that there's this person that's chained up in one of the cells, and who do we find who comes through? Well, first, the reason why we find out who comes through is because the person points behind the detective and says "Dada" or "Daddy" or something, and we look, and it is Artym, which is like, what? How is that Daddy? That's a child. But then Artym talks for the first time, and he says, "Hi, detective." Probably not in that cheery voice, although that would have been creepy too. He speaks in a low Scottish accent, which is interesting because he's supposed to be Russian. So he refers to the person in the cell as Hannah, and says that she's a miracle. Her mother and I tried many times to have her. This is where, if you're grossed out, this is where you need to mute the stream or mute the podcast because it's going to get disgusting.
Oh God!
Big content warning. God. It gets nasty here. So after a little hemming and hawing, the detective gets out that Artym has what he calls a disfigurement. And essentially what Artym has is, and I looked it up and I should have written it down. I've since lost the notes. But essentially, if you've seen the film Orphan, of course, some know Caddy clocked that this was an Orphan reference. This is based on a real case of a adult woman who there's something interesting with her chromosome set that she is as short and sort of resembles a child. And she basically scammed families into taking care of her in order to, get money out of them, all kinds of things. And so she was going to all these foster families doing this.
Did they make a horror movie based off of that?
Yes, called Orphan, which is really good, and you all should watch it. It's very good. So
I did watch it. It was good.
It was very crazy. So this is a real case that happened. So we find out that Artym has this same this same set of chromosomes, and he ends up revealing himself to be a full adult man. And when Caddy was telling me what happened in Fergusons, I was like, "Isn't that the plot of The Orphan?" And spoiler alert for everyone who knows, the Cryptidverse is always based on something. Just so you know, it's always based on a lot of elements of something. Because I don't write original stories.
I think you told us that the Fergusons was like a lot of little things.
It's not
it was like the plot was from The Orphan, but like some of the other elements were from other movies and stuff.
Yeah, I always just pull in a lot of influences because I work in Hollywood and that's what we do. So essentially, he wipes off the makeup. Artym has been discovered to be using makeup to hide some of his more adult facial features. And beyond that, we also find out that the Hannah, who is locked up in the cell, comes from himself, a relationship. Well, relationship is a hard word. A encounter between himself and with Miss Margaret.
And that moment was when I realized, oh, she was sick because of the, oh god, and that's the
Which
delicious you get.
and as if that's not weird enough, Miss Margaret also happens to be his daughter. He impregnated his daughter. And the reason that he did this, I explained this to folks earlier, but the reason that he did this is that Artym believes that sacrificing kids who are not quote unquote normal were the way that he could stay young, the way that the Ferguson family could stay wealthy, and in their mind they were helping out the town, like they were funding essentially the town that they were living in through these sacrifices. Sort of this magical hullabaloo that's supposed to happen, which jury's still out if it's true or not. I saw some theories.
I mean, like, if he still had to rely on makeup just to stay young, I don't think the sacrifices are working.
Even the detective said that he said something about like, you're still using makeup, a lot of it. Why would you need makeup if these sacrifices work?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So eventually Artym says all of this, and poor Hannah is chained up there. He feeds her bread, and the detective just says "fuck it," and he just pops one right in the middle of his eyes. He just fucking.
Okay, I find it funny when you scary because he was more emotional in the role play, but the way you just say it is like, yeah, he just shoots him.
He just fucking shoots him, man. Which I love that because I think it was amongst the role players, everyone was sort of like, Artym is like impenetrable, like he can't die. There's nothing that can kill him, and then the detective just goes, "Watch me." So, fully kills Artym.
It's literally that meme of "Watch me." Yeah. I'm going to kill him now.
Yep. Kills him. Artym is laying there. I said, there he was, laying on the ground, a sad, crazed, middle-aged looking man. Which is like, ugh, that's so creepy, just the image of like a grown man dressed as a child. Just, anyway.
Yeah.
So...
Then, the deliverance... I forget him name. Hannah, right?
Yeah, Hannah. So,
Hannah.
He lets Hannah out, and because she has not... if you guys know the story of Nell, it's sort of a similar like woman who is raised in the woods. So this, she crawls out on all fours because that's how she walks. She knows how to walk. So she pieces out. I should ask. I would be remiss if I didn't ask the cast. What did you think of the many plot reveals?
Honestly, you just distract me a lot because like on one hand you were trying to like make sense of it, but Kitten, if you're talking, your mic isn't working. Just telling you in case
I'm not.
Okay. Sorry.
I was just unmuted myself to talk.
Yeah, sorry. I was just thinking you were like talking, and I didn't want to interrupt you or something. Yeah.
But, go ahead.
Honestly, I honestly was confused because like, honestly, I was just confused because the first thing about the incest thing was like, wait, what? I mean, it makes sense, but the second was like, why would you? What is this? Why is this incest now? Why?
I just love that no one saw any of this coming, which is my favorite. Oh, it's so good. It's the only thing in the Cryptidverse that I've been able to pull off where no one called it. No one called the Artym being a full adult. No one called the incest plotline, which I didn't think they would. And-
I
to
thought
be fair-
RTM was Friendo, to be honest with
Yeah.
you, and then I find out that Friendo is Hannah.
Yeah, Frendo's Hannah.
Really,
Pew,
Friendo
pew.
is Hannah, and I'm like, wow, I am a horrible person this entire time. I was assuming Friendo was a dude.
I mean, to be
yeah.
fair, the name Friendo, I mean, like, when you think of Friendo, you think of like a smiley face, but Friendo, I don't, I
Well,
mean,
yeah, like you sometimes, I don't know why, but sometimes you do tend to think male when it comes to friendo, I guess.
Yeah. Frenda, says Caddy.
Friendo.
the Spanish,
Anyway.
right? The feminine ending. Yeah. So the other thing that we, the little Easter egg that I gave y'all, that Shadow pointed out was that Margaret and Krista have the same last name. Krista was from the Vines RP. Their last names are both Major. Which, you know.
Wait,
Yes.
wait, was it Shadow who pointed it out? Because I was just
Shadow
like,
figured it out. Yeah.
wait,
No,
Shadow
no,
called-
I just pointed.
It-
I forgot who pointed it out. Like, actually, I just pointed it out like right now. Just like another thing we caught on to.
Oh yes, yeah. That was a nice little.
like,
That's the most
oh, wait.
tame of the Easter eggs that we had.
oh, sorry. Actually, it was, now I remember, it was me. I actually pointed that out, like, earlier on. When I saw,
Oh,
like,
you
the surname
did.
Major, I was...
That's right.
And then, like, when I saw the surname Major, I was just like, wait, Krista's ancestor? Question mark, question mark, question mark?
Interesting. More on that later.
honestly, I think this was like what they. I mean, it was confusing because I think the thing that just was confusing to everyone was the conversation between dad and mom. That everyone just made the assumption that mom would be the bad one, not
Yep.
the dad. So that was the only thing that really was like confusing, but the rest really was like it was going. There was clues for it.
Well, speaking of
Yeah, since that's
so speaking of
Sorry.
mother, we wake up to Dennis wakes up to find that he is in a car speeding away with mother from the house. Noob, how did you feel about this revelation that your character survived? I don't know if Noob's there. Noob? No Noob?
Noob's been gone for a while.
Oh, Noob did leave. Oh, that's right. Yes, never mind.
The noob side of that you can answer things in the.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. So, I remember I will speak for him. Noob was very surprised that he survived. So what ended up happening was that mother had taken him and ran, and he kept asking, where are we going? What's happening? Where are we going? And mother's like, please stop asking questions. Just please let me drive you away to somewhere. Do you trust mother to wherever she's driving him?
No.
better than that, yeah. Honestly, better than that, yeah. Honestly, I just got like before the thing happened, I was like, yeah, no, I don't. But just scared. But now, I prefer to be like missing and just people not follow me instead of like having an entire police force going on my door.
So then the police come through. Cheeks came through for the family. And the police come in and save the kids. However, Damien, this is one interesting thing. Damien actually gets out of the window, jumps out of the window, and pieces out, and is never seen again. We don't ever find Damien again. So not all the kids get saved, I guess.
Oh.
Does
that mean he died to the river, or
no? Technically, he's on the survived list because we don't know what happened to him. So the police. It's what I do find funny though is that Marlowe's entire big scene is like trying to get out of the window, and then eventually she just lets the police in.
I just imagine someone trying to escape and thinking the police are just going to arrest them, but it's just trying to save them.
Yeah.
I imagine the police are so confused for the children trying to escape.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like,
they're like, what's happening?
What is she doing? What are they doing? Why are they trying to escape?
And so Marlo decides to trust the police. Damien does not, and pieces out. And so yeah, Damien is missing. The police catch Leilani, who didn't really have a whole lot to do in this RP, but still. Leilani, Ronnie, Marlo, and Jackie, all saved by the police. The paramedics come out with a body bag. A cop goes, "Oh God, a second one." A paramedic goes, "No, this one's not a child." The cop says, "Who is it?" And the paramedic says, "I don't know, some old man. I found him in the basement." I'm like, oh, yes. Wow. Poor Artym. So the final scene, as the detective begins to walk away from the lake, Hannah... So the detective went down to the lake to find father shot and drowned and laying in the lake. So it is confirmed that mother shot him and put him in the lake. So the detective goes down to find father's body. And as the detective begins to walk away from the lake, Hannah rushes up to him. He is on guard, but also hears the sirens in the background. Good, he thinks. Hannah moves past him and starts to walk to the lake. Hey, come back here. It's not safe in there. Hannah turns to the detective. Best friend? She dips under the lake, and soon after, Mr. Ferguson's body comes with her. And then we get a final little scene of these two women talking, gossiping about this whole story. We realize this tale is being told by two women in a beauty shop. And one of them does not believe that this is real, and the other one swears that this is exactly what happened. And that is how the story ends of the Fergusons.
Honestly, I don't believe that's real. Or at least that she knows, because there's so many details that she couldn't have known.
Mm-hmm.
At least.
Yeah, that was the big debate also, is that, like, did any of this happen? Or did some of this happen? Or did all of it happen?
I do believe some of it happened, but it depends. Like I'm sure they know something happened, because no way you're going to hide two bodies as shot in the front of the Ferguson's house when everyone trusted them to know what the children. So it's a lot of complete information, because on one hand, who would have they known about who was the Artym, because he seemed to be perfect at hiding stuff.
Yeah.
Then the other stuff.
Poor Joseph.
So many complete information.
I know, right? Shai says, I still just like the fact that half the gas got a free pass because the cops arrived. Yes, we also learned from this RP that having large casts is not really conducive to having a super duper fair RP. But, I still think
the only thing that really failed is that because some people are busy with life, so
yeah,
it just tends to happen.
Yeah, it happens.
I mean, you didn't do this big of a roleplay before, right?
This is definitely the biggest cast. Shai goes rigged. Shai will forever be mad about this. I know Shadow Joseph was really close to surviving. Joseph actually is. One day I'll do a top 10 saddest deaths, but Joseph is up there. That was very sad. But yeah, I think this was I enjoyed making the Fergusons. It was a lot of work, which I didn't. I hate working. I hate doing anything that requires me to think. So this was interesting. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. It also taught me that I need to work with smaller casts in the future, which is why we got the Fox and the dating game. But this was a lot of fun. I think in terms of story, and I loved the reveals. The crazy things that happened were really fun.
Same.
Yeah, it was a lot. I enjoyed making it, and I hope you all enjoyed playing in it.
Honestly, I love this one. This is my favorite. I know I said this like 10 times already, but I just love this one.
This is a good one.
It's my favorite so far.
This is a good one. Final thoughts, Swift?
Well, the Fergusons was definitely like a fun thread. And like by the end of this podcast though, like it actually gave me a greater appreciation for Simon because it just it just gave me more of an avenue to try and explore like what I could do to write as him. And And to top it all off, I'm just glad I went back to my RP roots, like role playing as a kid, even though that kid is not a combatant like Toon Link or Tetra. So
So good. Shai says zeros across the board. Shai's not a fan
What
of
zero?
Ferguson.
Zero.
Zeros across
Fergusons is good, apart from the deaths.
the board. This has had the most survivals in all of the Cryptidverse RP. It's just this is fun. I enjoyed this one. So the next so after we already did the Fox, we're currently doing the dating game, and which has been really light and fun, and
yep.
and we're enjoying it. The next one we have the Mothman one is coming. I'll be posting the breakdown for that. Is it tomorrow? I could just do it tomorrow, honestly. Would you guys? I feel like that's early,
What?
but I could just post the breakdown tomorrow for
What?
the next RP.
Oh, you know what's your?
I mean, I didn't realize you guys needed so much time because I was making I was trying to not have so much time because people literally come through and are just like, I have a ton of characters already, and I'm like, all right. So, but I guess I'll post it tomorrow so you guys have it there, and we can. I can't wait for the Mothman one. I will say it is set in the 90s, and it is set in America. Those are the two things I will give you.
This is why I need to be a part of it. Not because it's set in the 90s, or not because it's set in America. I am not an American, but my childhood was in the 90s. I know the 90s. Okay.
I will give you an age range. We're doing late 20s to early 30s for this one.
That's an age range.
Excellent. I can literally play myself.
Oh boy.
And this will be a very and I know I've said this for the other one, but this will also be a different format from the previous RPs. It'll be a little bit more in line with the dating game for a couple reasons, but you'll see when you read the breakdown tomorrow. Caddy says they're making a character. I'm so excited. Remember, if you join the Cryptidverse and you first priority goes to people who have never been in the Cryptidverse, second priority goes to people who haven't been in the Cryptidverse for a long time, and then everybody else. So it should be fun. We did this podcast in under 3 hours, so good job, everyone.
I have so many to pick. I have so many characters to choose
we
from.
Get a little break before.
Yes, we get a break. We're definitely getting a break. I have to eat.
Come back in here again.
We need a break. And I think it's already why the rating M6 is sort of a break.
So thank you all for joining me for this podcast. Hopefully we'll be doing more RP podcasts. Hopefully a Seven Sins one, Caddy. A Grimm's one.
Caddy left.
No, Caddy left. Oh, she's avoiding doing this goddamn podcast. They better not. Caddy's
gotta.
Caddy does have to work. Yes. Hopefully we'll be doing a Grimm's podcast. Yes, kitten.
Yes, there will be a Grimm's podcast.
Yes.
That was one of the most interesting roleplays I have seen here.
We'll do a Mob Den
I don't
one.
know.
Mob Den.
We'll do. I want to do a Wildfire Actors podcast.
Oh boy.
So it'll be fun. It'll be fun. And I will see you guys later. I have to take pills.
Yeah, go eat.
And eat. No, I mean eat. Eat is what I meant to say. Okay, bye.